Wild stories you've not heard before. Echoes through the air, they roar. Unleash the beast, let your spirit soar. Fists in the air, the crowds ablaze. Moments that seal the mundane taste. No fear, no hold in this maze. Reach the peak of these wild days. It lives, Friday night lives. You die, but Friday night lives. Hosted by DEADPIT Radio. Stuntman Mark and Rambo Rap. Crowds ablaze, moments that steal the mundane taste. No fear, no hold in this maze. Reach the peak of these wild days. It lives, Friday night lives. You die, but Friday night lives. Hosted by DEADPIT Radio. Stuntman Mark and Rambo Rap.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Friday Night Lives. And of course, joining me as always is Stud Muffin Mark. How you doing?
That's killer.
That's the best like nickname ever. Ed Rambo, how you guys doing, man?
Good, man.
Doing well, can't complain.
So Rambo has been on like a tour of cutting promos on people that are trolling him in his chat,
Yeah.
which I swear to you, I tagged it on his last video if you want to check it out, like one of his last videos, his last stream, I should say. And it's one of the funniest, I don't know, 2 or 3 minute long, like fucking promo he cut on some poor guy that was like insulting him. It's just great. So yeah. Check that out if you haven't already.
I forgot I said all that until on the Discord. I think either you or CK, maybe CK, he clipped it. I'm like, I forgot I said all that. But
he sent it to
right.
me. He sent me the clip of the video, and I just watched the whole thing all the way through, and I just laughed my ass off all the way through it because there's so many good lines in that. I don't know how like you came up with off the top of your head, but yeah,
it just does.
But anyway, I just want to say too that I just came off a stream that Alpha Romero was doing, and check that fucking stream out, man. He's got a lot of good people on there, and he's got a really cool thing going over there that I think is going to get a lot bigger too, because it's primarily the Romero focused, and it's you know people that are into that, which is a lot of people, including myself. It's really cool. Also, before we get into the chat and before we get into the creature feature / I don't know what you call it, like disgusting horror films, check out this video has been doing really well though. I did a rant video about what's going on with the boutique labels and things like that right now. So if you're interested in that, there's a bunch of labels mentioned and a bunch of things I forgot. I kind of want to do a pre or a post kind of thing about that video because I had forgotten several things like other kind of fuck ups that have happened recently too that weren't even covered in that video. So I might do a part 2 at some point, but there's several things. But anyway, check that out. That being said, though, let's see who's in the chat real quick before we get this party going. We've got Kingslayer, Holiday. I about said Hollywood Styles, Holiday Styles, Adrian James, Dark Metal Spider, Hobblown. Okay, Kingslayer, a lot of new people in here. Matthew Black, 1750 Films, Chaz Herring, Scratch is in here, Danny's in here, Ed O'Neill from Married with Children's in here. That's outstanding.
That's something.
Nice.
Look there. he's new to the channel. He wants to know how it works, so we'll help him out soon. Alex Sanchez, Vanderhoff, Bronson Wright, Atinchi fan, Mr. Falcon X91. Good to see you.
Oh
Zach,
shit!
what?
Super chat.
Oh, we got a super
Yeah.
chat.
Well, thanks,
what
man.
the
You have
hell?
to, thank you. I
Nice.
appreciate it.
50 pounds, Matt. That's quite a bit of poundage. I don't know what that translates into dollars, but yeah.
Thanks, man. Like he mentioned on a previous stream, he wanted me to review some. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I just PayPal's and order for him, but he sent it that way. I'll write it down, man. I'll write it down now.
Yep.
Thank you. Thankfully, it's not the pro because I already saw that piece of shit.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that was another pay request. It's a piece of shit.
I watched it for free, so I'm even more of a glutton for punishment.
Well, at least I got something out of it. You just got robbed your time.
I did.
Yeah, I hear it's really, really a great film. Planet CHH Christian wants to know what's the best way to get in contact with you, Rambo.
Ralph. Who else, Ralph?
I think he's doing it. I think he's
I
doing
know. Facebook is the best bet. I'm not sure if you have my Facebook, Instagram, The Real Rambo Raft, because someone took my name, so I had to put The Real Rambo Raft. Facebook's usually the best bet. I don't care. I'll put it on here. I'm not like people have better. Oh, hey, remember, you guys don't talk to the chat, I've been told by some asshat on some fucking fanboy Facebook that you guys don't talk to the chat.
Right.
Even though
we
you're talking to the
don't,
chat.
but we don't like any of the people. Everybody knows that. We're not fan centered.
No.
Even though we've been doing this for 20 fucking years.
So I put it in the chat, but yeah, Facebook's the best bet. Also, I mean, my name is Matt, M-A-T-T, Roller, R-O-E-H-L-E-R. I don't go for it. But I hope you're doing well, man. Hope everything's going fine with you.
I should invite Lauren to be on Dead Pit. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Dirk's in here. Dirk, while you're in here, and I've got you in here, when is that next show? Because I want to make sure I write this down on my calendar. And don't forget that.
Oh, Dirk, no, I think because you're on my stream and you got a wrench now. Yeah, you're on my stream now, so I put a wrench on you. Now get to work, fix my car.
Start fucking. Yeah. You're gonna trust me. You're gonna have a lot of work to do here soon, bro. And then we got David Eden. There's a lot of people on here that I'm not sure. Maybe these are yours, Rambo. David Eden.
Yeah, that's on mine.
It's good to have you, sir. Kevin Smith is here again, of course. He's always following Rambo around. Energy Turtle. His first time he's caught a live stream. Russian Pirate. Holy shit. That is frightening.
He's a good dude.
Russian Pirate, though. That's that's a good name.
We need him on our side.
There's quite a few people. Okay. So the topic, I guess we can just start with, man, and I'll just kind of move it around to you guys first to start off. We'll just go round robin style and name a couple each time, of either like creature films that you guys like, or it could be like, to me, like this could break down in one of two ways. You could go Gooey style, right? Or you could go like street trash style. They're just films that are like, shit, gooey shit, kind of, I don't know what you call that film, that style of film exactly, but like,
Gooey.
or creatures. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the more obscure, the better. If the chat wants to add some really obscure ones in there too, I mean, there's definitely like, you look at like something like The Uninvited, and that's a really obscure creature feature film that I really like because it's so stupid. I'm not talking about the Uninvited as in like the ghost Uninvited. I'm talking about the one where like little parasitic aliens shoot out of cats. That's the one that I'm talking about. But Mark, we'll start with you, man. What do you got?
Yeah.
Well, this one kind of is Creature, but it's kind of not. And we just have to mention it because it's just so awesome. The Blob, the
Oh, yeah.
88 version, like it's one of my favorites. First saw that one on cable back in the day, and oh,
Dan Glover is afraid of the Blob, and he took his head off. The Blob got his head.
Fell off. Holy
Blob-
shit! You killed Danny Glover.
The Blob ate his head.
did what the Predator couldn't do.
Yeah.
But yeah,
There you go.
that one's very well known. It's not exactly obscure, but I just had to mention it just because it's so damn fun.
Oh, it is a great movie, man.
Really cool effects.
How
Chuck
did you
Russell
first see it?
joint.
The
Oh,
Blob.
cable, 90s cable, man.
Chuck
that-
Russell too. That's
Yeah.
the guy that did Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, that guy. With those two movies alone, those are like two of my favorite 80s movies, 80s horror films. So
Yeah, I mean, I think his 80s and 90s stuff is some of my favorites. I mean, and he went across other genres too. Like Eraser is still a fun one for me. It's a movie where like not to get too off topic, but you never think you'd see like James Caan versus Arnold Schwarzenegger. But it's cool though. I mean, yeah, Chuck Russell's great. Blob's great. I could put it over all night. But what about you guys? When did you guys first see the Blob?
I saw it right around the time it came out. I don't remember if I saw it in the theater, but it was in the 80s. I do know that.
VHS for me. I had it taped on a VHS tape. I think The Brain and something else was on there. It was like other features.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Did you have like 4 movies on the tape?
Yep.
Yeah,
but back then.
But the fourth one got cut off. But I think it was The Brain, so that was fine. But yeah, I love the Blob to death. I even love that slasher parody, Garden Tool Massacre. There's a lot of good details in that, and the effects, the practical ones, is still wonderful to look at. It's sad that bombed, but it deserved a lot more than it got. Because like The Thing and The Fly, they get the recognition. The Blob seems a little bit slept under for some reason. I don't know why.
I'm not sure really either, but you're right. Like that's a movie that never really. I mean, it's talked about more now, but it's still not talked about as much as it should be as like one of the great films of that time period.
Yeah, like I think, well, in our circles, like the horror community, we definitely put it over and we talk about it and we love it. But other people, I don't know. Not really sure if they talk about that one or even watch it as much as we probably do or have.
No. I'm glad somebody brought this up. Dirk brings up one that The Beast Within. So that movie is fucking, from a practical makeup perspective, is amazing to me. Essentially, what is it? It's like he's like a killer.
I don't know what the hell that
he's what are those things called? Locust or something? He's some sort of like,
is that what it is?
it's a locust or an ape. It's some sort of bug. He's some sort of
Okay.
fucking like thing. He's not like it basically is a werewolf movie, but he's not a werewolf. He's some sort of like cicada. Okay, he's a cicada. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. And that's such a good movie though, just because it's a simple movie about this kid that's going through like all this. It's kind of like Carrie, but he turns into a fucking bug. Like if Carrie turned into a bug and ate a bunch of people, it would be very similar.
The one thing I do remember about the film, and I haven't seen it since I was young, and I first saw it on DVD years and years ago. Don't you like wait for the majority of the movie for him to change?
Yes, it's like it almost happens at the end of the
build.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I remembered. Yeah, I do. That's one I need to revisit. Is that one out on anything? Is that probably a Scream Factory one?
That is out on Scream Factory. Yeah.
Okay, figured.
I've got that in there somewhere. Of course, and I think that like this one, I think the second one is the best one, even though it is directed by Mick Garris. And that is Critters. Dude, Critters 2 is massively underrated. That is a fun, like completely 80s film It's got some great, like, funny sequences in it. It's got like the giant critters ball. It's got the guys that come down from, like the aliens that come down and try to round up all the critters and shit. And if I'm not mistaken, is that the one where the alien guy turns into like a woman?
Yep.
Like partially through it. Yeah. And it's such a killer scene. He's like looking at a porno magazine, and he like anything he looks at, he can like shape shift into, and he shape shifts into like her.
Yeah.
It's just a great movie.
He tries to do Freddy Krueger at one point, but it's like, no, stay where you are, stay where you are.
Yeah.
I think there was a PG-13 film that had breasts in it, and that showed what you could get away with the ratings back then. That's a fun one, though.
Yeah. I think it's gotten a little bit more appreciation these days. I'm listening to McGarris's podcast. I did hear them talk about like it getting like screenings and stuff. And like it does have a lot of fan interaction at those. Like he goes to quite a few of them, does signings, talks about the movie, stuff like that. So it's probably got a lot more of a cult following now than maybe say 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah. And L.A. Jules right. The Critters 2 egg hunt scene is great.
It's funny you mentioned Mick Garris because I watched not to go off the topic. I mentioned I watched that Crow movie. Mm-hmm. They stole a song from a Mick Garris film, Sleepwalkers.
I noticed. Yeah. Is it Bodacia? Yeah.
The do like at the very end, like they put it in.
It was so random. I'm like, why are they playing that? It did not fit at all in the film.
But thanks to Jamroll, thanks for the super chat. Thoughts on director Peter Hyams and The Relic. I love Peter Hyams. 2010, Stay Tuned with John Ritter's a very quirky, interesting one. End of Days, I love. But The Relic, it's a fun monster movie in a museum. Tom Sizemore, may he rest in peace. It's my favorite role of his. And I love the design of the monster. Stan Winston worked on it. There's CG, but there's some good prop to go and taking people's heads off, and there's some good gore in it. The Relic's a fun one. I don't know what you two feel about it.
I was actually there when they were shooting that at the museum on location.
Chicago.
Yeah.
That kind of blew my mind because I had no concept of like movie making and trailers around and all the people in the crew and then the stuff that it takes to make a film, at least at that age. But saw it in the theater when it did come out. Liked it. Some questionable effects now, like practical stuff is good, but obviously the CGI stuff is not very good. But that's very, very brief. I like Tom Sizemore in it a lot. It's got some cool atmosphere. One of those movies that really works in like a one location type of thing. Some really solid stuff though. Cool sequences, like the whole under, like it's not underwater, but they're in water. It's like under like the museum and the tunnels and
stuff. Like the sewer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very cool stuff.
Yeah, I echo everything that Mark said. Like I never had a problem with the movie. I don't think it did. Maybe it did do well, but I don't think so.
No,
like
not really.
And I thought it kind of got a bad rap because I don't think that was a time period for those type of movies, really. Like I don't think those movies like that were being made that much around that time.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about this real quick. This has nothing to do with any of the creature feature stuff, but this is part of my childhood. So just one of the guys, he says, is a PG-13 show. Let me tell you something. When I was in middle school, that was my fucking movie, man. Like, you know what I'm talking about. If you've ever seen this movie, the end of that movie,
yeah,
I probably wore that tape out. Like, that's just that's insane. So
more than Fast Times.
More than Fast. Yeah, everybody always talks about Fast Times, right? But that's a different generation almost. Like,
yeah, true. Yeah.
So I came in later on, and like that was my Fast Times or whatever. So Joyce Heiser, I think is her name.
Yeah.
The woman that played that. Yeah. So great job. that movie. Anyway. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about Puppet Master. Puppet Master. Here's the problem with Puppet Master, all right? To me, the
Sure.
first one sucks ass. Like, people don't realize that, but the first Puppet Master is incredibly boring. It's really only you get to the second and third Puppet Masters where it's like the Puppet Master that you know today. You know what I mean? Like the one that people kind of reference. And it gets more kind of action oriented.
And like they are talking about Full Moon and not the Sutherland one, right?
I hope so.
Because-
I hope not.
I
No,
mean,
we're not
it
talking
is
about the
kind of
Sutherland.
creatures in that ones too. So I mean,
Well, somebody said
yeah.
Puppet Master versus Demonic Toy. So I feel like somebody's
Okay.
talking about, yeah,
Okay.
somebody's talking about that. Let's see. Mimic. Somebody brought up Mimic. A couple people brought up Mimic. Oh, of course. Yeah, we got to talk about Ghoulies.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, what are y'all's thoughts on? I don't think we've ever really talked about that, like that series of movies.
I like Ghoulies 2 and 3. The
Same.
first one, I honestly feel the same way as Puppet Master. It's like, I thought it was very boring. But like you said, Puppet Master 2 and 3, Ghoulies 2 and 3, they're more the stars. It's more fun. I grew up with those movies. I love the carnival setting in part 2.
Same.
fun.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
might be one of my favorite settings in a movie like that. Like, for some reason, that just completely works with the ghoulie characters running around and being in parts of the carnival.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Mhm.
yeah, I love that one too.
Did you see that on VHS? Ghoulies 2 VHS?
I had to have, man. At some point, yeah.
Yeah. For me, I think I like the first one a lot more now. So when they put that 4K out, I got a chance to actually see it in kind of a different light almost. It was actually really fun. I had a lot more fun with it than I've ever had. And I appreciate it a lot more. I mean, obviously the first one had to exist so we could get the second one, but yeah, I really, really dig the first one a lot. I don't want to go so far as to say it's underrated or anything, but I don't know. Give it another watch, Matt. I know you probably won't.
I
'cause you watch
have.
enough stuff. Oh, you tried it? Okay. Okay.
It's boring.
Just
as
can't get
shit.
into it.
No.
I'll tell you this though, like when they put out that Ghoulies, recent Ghoulies, what was it, 4K?
The 4K, yeah.
And I watched it, I had a whole new appreciation for that movie because that's one of the best 4Ks that I've ever seen.
Mhm.
Like, and it's just like crystal clear, looks like it was made today. And so it kind of made it more enjoyable to watch it. But I'll agree though that I think Ghoulies 2 is probably my favorite. Ghoulies 2 and 3 like are just like they kind of figured out the basic formula in the first one, it seemed like, and then they just were like, let's just put these fucking ghoulies in some weird situations and make it, you know, kind of comedic, and yeah, just
Well,
it worked for me.
Except the fourth one,
Well, yeah, the less we say about the fourth one, probably the better.
where there's not even ghoulies in it. It's called Ghoulies 4. It's just two little people.
The Keggy says the Gate 1 and 2. Yeah, that's definitely a creature feature in my opinion because the little demon things in it.
I enjoy the first Gate. The second one, I don't think that kid's good as a lead. He was worked well as a supporting role, and I don't know. It felt cheaper. I don't know. It felt low. I don't know what it is. Somebody didn't work for me.
Yeah, I think for me with the second one, I love the first one, but there's not as many like standout moments and scenes for me in the second one. I don't know. I definitely prefer the first film.
Yeah. Critic Chris, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is probably one of my picks for the most underrated films ever.
Yes, definitely.
That movie is everything. It's like Night of the Creeps to me. It's like everything you want in an 80s horror film, like really kind of witty humor, great special effects, great monster setups. I love the fact that you basically got like 5 or 6 movies in one. Because
Yes.
every time you go into a new like exhibit, you go into a new film. essentially. So like you got the werewolf, you got Dracula, you got the Marquis de Sade, you got the zombies, you got like whatever. That's one of my favorite films, just in general, horror films or anything else. And I think everybody in that movie gives a great performance. Like Michelle Johnson and Deborah Foreman. Like I think they're all great. Patrick McNee is great in it.
Yeah.
Well, Zach Galligan isn't the best at the beginning when he's like trying to be the stuck up kind of.
Yeah, Zach Gallen ain't the best in anything, really, if we're being honest. But
I love the first Waxwork. I really enjoy Anthony Hitchcock's. May he rest in peace. I actually really like Waxwork too. That was a childhood favorite of mine because I love. It's one of my favorite sword fights in a movie because the amount of like that's probably the first I heard of Dawn of the Dead before I saw the movie, because I didn't know what the movie was, and then I see them in a zombie mall. I'm like, "What's this?" And that led to me finding out this stuff, like the fake Godzilla and the fake lip syncing being off on purpose, and like Jack the Ripper being attacked by Nosferatu. I love that creativity of it, and the director did another fun one, a werewolf one called Full Eclipse, where Mario Van Peebles, where it's like cops, but they're werewolves. And they go after the good cop has to go after the bad cops who are also werewolves.
who did direct part 2? I know Anthony Hitchcock did part
Anthony
1.
Hitchcock did part 2.
Did both of them? Okay.
Yeah.
So like that's another guy because he did Hellraiser 3 too. He's massively underrated as a director. From what I can understand, he was a bit of a dick, but like he's underrated as a director.
Yeah, I always liked Warlock 2 a lot more than the first film. I know that one's not exactly a beloved one, but it's a personal favorite of mine. But yeah, I'm a big Hitchcock fan.
And he also has some great stories on worked with Steven Seagal.
Yes.
How there was a movie called Submerged that was supposed to be a monster movie. Then all of a sudden, Seagal's like, "I'm not doing a monster movie anymore." And they had to change everything.
Yeah.
So,
Change the whole fucking plot of the movie.
in the middle of it, yeah.
I would love to see the first Watchers again. It's been years since I've seen it, but I remember loving that movie when I was a kid. Corey Haim's in it. And like, I just remember it's about some sort of like, I always equated it with like a Bigfoot-esque kind of creature, but I'm not entirely sure now because it's been years since I've seen it, but like some sort of lab experiment or something like that. And there's isn't there like a psychic part of it too, where they got some sort of connection? Like,
Yeah, it's pretty much, it was a government plot where they will take a golden retriever, a dog, and they would send it to an enemy camp, and the monster would chase after it and then kill everybody in its vicinity, based on the Dean Koontz novel. I love Watchers 1 and 2. I got the Scream Factory Watchers 2. But yeah, I love both of those.
Why is the first one not out? I can't.
I don't know who owns it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. It seems like we asked Slippy that one time, and I'm sure I just forgot what he said. But like, I mean, they put out Watchers 2. I just don't know why in the hell they can't put out Watchers.
Yeah, I'd love a double feature of that. That would be really awesome.
Well, I know 2 was a different company with Corman, and they own a lot of Corman stuff, but 1 was not Corman, and I don't know who owns it. Oh, thank you, Zero Thruster, for the super chats. I don't know anything about no goddamn Predator movie.
The Predator flick leaks
called Badlands, which is such a original title, Badlands.
Fucking Carta, suburban Sasquatch. Listen, we watched that back in the day, like on the original like Dead Pit show and everything, and reviewed it. I think I actually liked that movie. It's freaking ridiculous. I mean, it looks like it was made for about $35, and the effects were done on like Microsoft's Paint or something. But like, it's that kind of movie though, where it's just so bad that it's good.
And thank you, Freddie Litt. Yeah. Yeah, definitely one of them great characters. Why did you put her in charge? Hudson is so great. Rest in
Oh,
peace,
yeah.
Bill Paxton.
This is one of your favorites, Matt.
Mhm.
I've yet to get that from Kino. I'm going to though.
Yeah, someone sent me this as a gift, so I have it right here. That's why. I don't have a laser displayer, but it's still a nice gift. Yeah, this is a childhood favorite of mine. I think if people watch it nowadays, I do see people saying it's slow, but it just had all the right elements for me. I love the Jerry Goldsmith music. I love the cast.
Those effects, man, are fucking great. Still hold up.
Well, even though the people on the Blu-ray just shit on it and say how horrible it is, but
Buddy, what the hell you doing in here?
hey, how you doing?
Yo.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
I thought you were off in some sort of foreign land.
I will be soon. I took me some of them gummies.
Uh-oh.
My wife passed out about an hour ago, so it's still kind of early. So I'm like, I can hang out with you all for at least the next 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, it's
Cool.
10:30. Yeah,
So how are you guys doing that? What are y'all talking about?
we're
We
just
talking
talking about creature
Creature
features and freaking gooey films.
I'm curious if Mark bought $750 worth of stuff from Vinegar Syndrome yet.
No, I did not.
I don't even think Mark would do that though. Like, I don't think that's Mark's
No, that's
thing.
never gonna happen.
There's 17 copies of Last Gasp left still.
Mark,
just
buy them
checked.
all and just hoard them, and then you can resell them.
Well, in
Nobody's
celebration,
gonna buy it. They
And
can't
then-
even sell them.
in 2 years, whenever they sell out, we should do like a fan commentary over it and see like why nobody wanted it. I've never seen it. So
That'd be cool.
I've got it. I think I got it for $10. Like the first time they offered it for $10.
Michael Rashball wants to know what your thoughts are on Psycho 3, or somebody's thoughts on Psycho 3. I guess
It's
all of
awesome.
it.
I like it quite a bit. Not as good as Psycho 2, but
What is though, really? I mean, that's
Yeah, it's tough. Tough to compete with Psycho 2
yeah.
as far as
I mean-
sequels go.
Yeah, right up behind that. That's how do you follow up Psycho 2, you know?
Was that the first movie that Anthony Perkins directed, or had he directed movies before Psycho 3?
It's a good question. I'm not
yeah,
sure.
I don't know.
That's the only one I know of.
Mm. I like Psycho 3, but yeah, it's compared to Psycho 2. And I actually like Psycho 4 as well. I think that's a pretty good one. It's one of Mick Garris's better movies.
Oh yeah.
The only thing I can remember about Psycho 3 is Jeff Fahey.
That's all you need to remember.
That's
He's
the
awesome in
main
that.
thing I remember about that movie.
Diana Scarwood's in it too, though, from Mommy Dearest. I remember her in it.
Oh yeah, she is. Let's see. Justice for Corey. No. Good question. Crater, which you like better, House or House 2? I'm gonna tell you right now that mine is House 2.
House 2 for me too.
It'd be House for me.
How about House 3, the horror show?
What about House 4?
No.
No,
shut
not
up.
that.
Isn't that funny though? Like here in the U.S., it was just the horror show, but they also did House 4. Like that's so confusing.
Yep.
Yeah.
What the hell?
But
Listen,
both of those, they're both good movies. House and House 2. They're
Yeah.
fun.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen another movie that had a caterpillar dog in it?
Caterpillar dog.
No.
It was cute.
Like that's the prime example of like a creature. Like that's just
Yeah.
and it's not really. It's more comedy, I guess. And even the cowboy dude in there, the cowboy zombie guy.
Royal Dano, who was in Ghoulies 2.
Right.
Fun enough.
Yeah, the makeup on that and stuff. Like I've talked about this before in the 80s, from like 84 to 88, 89. Some of the movies that they made around that time period and the makeup effects and everything is still to this day unbelievable. You know, still look great. And even like the CG stuff and everything of the 90s, look how dated that looks now a lot of the time. Very few of those movies hold up.
Yeah, Richard
Yep.
Mole's character in the house still looks amazing. I watched that movie recently. What's the other guy's name? Roger. I think that's it. When he comes back and he's like, "Hey, Roger."
Oh yeah,
Is that the
Yeah.
guy's name? That
yeah,
William Cat.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. That's a hell of a box set too from Arrow. You can get that really cheap on one of those sales if you. They got all the in the UK. They got all of them in one set.
yeah, very cool box set. I have that.
The nobody's probably going to be able to find it, but if you can get the 4K German set, it's worth it. The transfers are outstanding. It's good features on there.
Is it in a house?
It's in an actual house.
Where's that thing? It's over there. I'll
If
grab
you
it
have an
again.
actual house,
I'll grab it at the end of the stream and show it.
It'll be
I'm
a house
sure-
that'll be the size like one of them ones your kids play in.
I'm sure at some point Arrow will probably do a 4K version of it because they're doing that a lot. Them and Scream Factory this year is doing a lot of like 4K upgrades. That's basically all they're doing.
yeah. Of course, more mentions the German release. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, I got to put it over. Somebody's got to do it.
Thank you, Zarathustra. We mentioned the Critters films. UB was putting over Critters 2, deservedly so. My favorite McDear's film. Critters 1 is good. And Tremors, you only need the first two. You only need the first two. You didn't need any more after that. Definitely
Agreed.
check out the Arrow video releases. Those are well done.
Mhm.
But talk about creature food. Yeah, Tremors, I love the dialogue. Such a very well put together movie. For a January release, which usually January releases are bad, that's one of the better January movies, let alone horror movies. And then Tremors 2 for direct to video is actually pretty stellar for what they're
Mhm.
able to do.
You know, there's another one that people don't really mention. That's more modern, I guess. Well, it's probably about 20 years old at this point. But it was a big flop when it came out. A lot of people thought that it ended James Gunn's career. But it was a great monster movie, ooey gooey creature feature, if you will. Slither.
Oh yeah.
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 The only thing about Slither was I just couldn't get over like how much it ripped off Night of the Creeps. Like
But what did Night of the Creeps rip off?
Night of the Creeps did rip off that one movie. What the hell was the name of it that we watched? Shit.
The Cronenberg movie.
Well, yeah, also that, but even before that, like the movie that we just watched, it was like that old space movie where there was like those things in it that had like brains that were slugs.
yeah,
with little
the,
brains on them.
Fuck, it was one of them old 50s movies.
Yeah, I mean that's where all that shit came from. Was
Right.
that fucking movie? Yeah, so
Somebody in the chat will
yeah, I can't remember it now.
yeah, Shivers is the Cronenberg movie, which I think is like probably his most, well, it might not be his most underrated one, but I mean, I think that it's very underrated.
Creepazoids, I forgot about that one too.
Do you think it bombed because people just were not gun ho about the creature features, or was it the marketing, or just
It was during a weird time, I think. I don't think they were doing many movies like that. I mean, it's just my opinion. And people just weren't into that. What year was that? Like 2005 or 6 or something like that?
sounds about right? Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Somebody said we were talking about house. They said they put in Big Mama's house.
Oh God.
That's the best one.
I like Big Mama's house. Nothing wrong with that.
Thoughts on the Tremors and Critters series?
Yep, that was him. Well, I already talked about
Fiends
CK.
Without a Face. That's it.
What about
Yeah,
you, CK?
yeah.
Have you? I mean, you've seen both of these. Not your cup of tea. All right.
What?
Neither.
Tremors and Critters?
Yeah.
I mean, the first Critters is a fun movie. Well, the second one's pretty good too. The Tremors movies I like, but like I'm not in love with them. I mean, they're fine, but
Right.
I mean, they're okay. I don't go hog wild over them or anything, but yeah,
Right.
they're fine. At least the first 2 or 3, maybe. I haven't watched, how many are they up to? 7 now or 8?
There's
Yeah.
a ton, yeah.
I haven't watched any of those.
God, this is
I haven't
the-
watched the new Critters movie either. The one with the female critter, the cute
That's
critter.
the new
like a
binge.
female gremlin.
I've heard about it, but I never did watch it.
Well,
It's one of those
on-
movies I couldn't give away or whatever. It's like $4.99 at Walmart or whatever on Blu-ray.
Yeah, the critter has sex with the lady, and then the lead guy is like half critter.
It's a lady.
That says all.
Olivia Hussey, baby.
Olivia Hussey, like her scenes in Psycho 4 definitely make it worth watching. I'll say that 100%.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Rambo, have you by any chance seen the new Crow film?
Yeah. With emo Stevo.
Oh, shit.
Quietly came out.
Yep. It shit the bed, and then hopefully we'll just leave.
It'll be on Vudu here in a week or two, I bet.
They've been trying to make that film for 16 years. They had like $50 million, and it bombed deservedly so.
All that time, and that's what they came up with. That movie is, even
I mean,
as just a movie, not even an adaptation, it's fucking terrible.
You
It's a
shouldn't.
really
Nobody
awful
should be
movie.
surprised, though, man. It's a
No,
Hollywood
no.
movie. Like,
Yeah.
goddamn, like Beetlejuice is coming out next week. I feel sorry for the motherfuckers that think it's going to be good. I really do. I feel sorry for it because I love the first Beetlejuice movie. I do.
Me
I
too.
saw it.
Who doesn't,
I saw it
really?
as at a very young age. I watched it over and over and over and over. There's no reason for this movie to exist.
No. And you know what's weird? That might be another example of a movie I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk bad about. I'm not sure if I've ever heard anybody say that they hated Beetlejuice.
Hmm.
Like, it's pretty much universally liked. But, like, you're right. Like, they're not going to be able to do anything with that. Like, I can tell by just watching some of the scenes that it's just, it's not going to be.
I would almost guarantee the cast of that movie probably shits all over it behind the scenes.
Yep.
They just took a payday, you know.
But you're just a hater that don't read the chat.
Yeah, buddy. We hate everything.
Uh,
You just an asshole.
Tremors Part 11. Why do we keep making these? It's a fair point.
Michael
Don't-
Gross, he needs to eat.
He even
Slow
said
movie.
that all the movies were not very good. He said the first two were good. And I didn't even bring that up or anything. He just said that to me at random when I met him.
That's
He's
probably
like,
why.
that's the only two you need to watch, the first two.
That's probably why his character died in the last one, because even he gave up.
Yeah.
The series, though, that I think of when I see the trailer for Beetlejuice, and because it's the exact same sort of thing, there's no reason for those movies to exist either, is those new Ghostbusters movies. It's the
Yeah.
same sort
It
of deal.
looks the same. You're right. Like the way that it's, I just don't think like, you know, across the board, whether it be horror films or like mainstream film, like franchise movies like that, when it's been over for 20 years or something, you just can't do that. You can't bring that back. Like nobody has any recollection of what made
And-
those movies good to begin with.
Well, especially like if Warner Brothers is behind it too, because you can guarantee it's going to be shit. And they're the ones that's doing Beetlejuice as well, right? Because they just don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, we've got this franchise here, boys. Come on, hurry. Let's get this thing out.
Yep.
Well, the lighting looks like The Munsters by Rob Zombie. And what they want is they want what happened to Alien Romulus. Whether
Yeah.
I didn't like it, that was a huge hit, and people said that was the best since Wonder Bread. I mean, that's what they want.
What I did
Well, I-
think was funny, though, is from what I could tell in the trailers of Beetlejuice 2, they killed the pedophile off, right? They were at
Yeah.
his
Jeffrey
funeral.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Jones is not in the movie. No.
Right? Yeah.
He will not be back.
Yeah,
I
it is.
guarantee. No, but what you were saying, Matt, I think is completely true though, because like with Alien Romulus, like they just took a bunch of like your greatest hits from all the Alien movies, jammed it in a really shitty new movie, and then people were like, "Oh, this is killer." So I'm betting that's what they'll do with Beetlejuice. They'll just be like, "What's like the most memorable parts about the original Beetlejuice?" Okay, now just like put all that shit, just redo that, like those parts, put it in there, and it will make no sense. But yeah,
Well, I mean, that's the continuous trend that they've been on for the last few years. That's everything's really good. Look what that happened with Evil Dead Rise. The movie's terrible. So
Oh
Yeah, and all these
Just-
movies make a whole
people
lot
love
of money
that movie
too.
though. There's people that love Evil
I don't know
Well, it's
why.
like the Alien movies and even like the Predator movies are still making money, man. Like I don't know how, but they're still. I would never want to watch. I never want to see them. Like I bought what was that one before Romulus? I bought it.
Covenant.
Yeah, and I think it made a lot of money. Is that right? Or no?
I can't remember.
It did good enough. I mean, it didn't like it wasn't a huge box office success, but I know it at least made its budget back.
It may have
Yeah.
been released around the time of COVID or something. I don't know.
Yeah. This may be the greatest creature feature of all time, though. Mac and Me. Who doesn't love Mac and Me?
Man.
Damn it! How you gonna not like Mac and Me? That little
Oh,
thing in there,
God.
and
I think it's hilarious more than anything. I remember when I was a kid.
Well, yeah.
I saw it in the theater when I was a kid, man, and I thought it sucked. Not very many movies when I was like 8 or 9 years old I thought sucked, but that one, it was that one,
yeah,
Garbage Pail Kids, the
Oh, wow.
movie, Masters of the Universe movie, I thought sucked.
yeah.
The Mario, I actually, like, I know people like Super Mario Brothers 93, but when I saw it as a kid, I was like, what in the fuck is it?
I think most people did. No, you're right though. If you're like a 6 or 7-year-old kid and you think something sucks, like it's got to really suck because most kids love everything. Like they just don't
Mhm.
give a damn what it is. They'll put
It's
it
just
over.
such a blatant, like, E.T. knockoff mixed with like a McDonald's commercial. It's very odd. Like it's enjoyable in the fact that it's so fucking weird
Yeah.
and stupid.
Did you ever see the ultra ending to that movie that was on YouTube where the kid gets shot?
I think I saw it years and years ago. Yeah, because I vaguely remember
The
something.
kid who can't walk gets like shot
Ah.
or something.
I can't believe they didn't go with that ending.
I wonder
That's,
why.
Yeah. The kid gets shot in the head off that wheelchair and just flies down a hill. Or something. That's how they wanted to end it. It sounds right though. Does anybody see 1989's Arena? I know it's in that Arrow set.
I didn't watch that one. I don't think.
I haven't seen that one either.
Long
Haven't
time,
seen
but
it.
can't remember much of it.
Let's see. The Brain Eaters? I'm not sure what that is.
50s movie.
Oh, okay. Abominable has the best Sasquatch. That's the Tiffany Shepis one, I think.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah, that one was the one that's like Rear Window, guy in a wheelchair.
This is a great pick. I'd forgotten about this movie, Deadly Spawn, which is basically the only reason to like that movie is for the creature. Like nothing else happens in that fucking movie.
Where I thought
Except-
all of the budget went towards that, nothing
Yeah.
else. They
Oh, yeah.
bought like expired film stock or whatever. It was one of those movies, very cheap.
Yeah, it really is. Like that's the only thing worth watching in the movie is the actual just Deadly Spawn. But I don't know what happened to the 4K. That's a good question. That was brought up.
Speaking of which, man, this is fucking hilarious. And I know we were talking about budget filmmaking here, right?
Yeah.
Me and my wife was watching Terror at 10 Killer earlier today.
I'm sorry you had to go through
And I
that.
like this is so fucking hilarious. The girl with the tits, right? The fake tits.
Yeah, fake tit girl.
In one scene in the movie, pretty much. And my wife, like right before this, she was talking about how flat chested that fucking girl was. And then she magically had fucking tits. And my wife was confused. She was like, I was like, yeah, the editing is like shitty in this. This was like a
That's just-
reshoot or something.
That's a movie to me that's just not even bad in a good way. It's just got like go away heat to me. Like,
Nobody
I
knows
just-
what they're doing on that movie.
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk about that one though.
That'd be great.
Both of those movies, actually.
This is a classic though. I've got unfortunately my dick demon is not erect anymore, but Night of the Demon is possibly the best dick ripping Sasquatch scene that's ever been committed to film.
This is true.
Very true.
I need to watch that again. It's been a while since I've seen it.
And then this is kind of like the Citizen Kane of these kind of movies to me from the 80s. It's Basket Case. Like, in terms of a creature feature film, like that's the one that I immediately think of when I think about that time period.
You know, one that's kind of underrated too that Synapse brought out a couple years ago is the Kindred. That's kind of a creature feature movie. When
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
That's a
one.
pretty good one.
Mm-hmm.
Good effects and everything.
So really, like Henlar did two really, really good creature feature movies with Brain Damage and Basket Case. If you think, I mean,
Yeah.
both those are great.
Which did you like more?
I always like Basket Case the best. It's just because like it's a nostalgia thing for me. That's one of the first horror films I ever saw. Crater. Look at this shit.
I bet you anything will be good, Crater. I think you'll have a group of people that love the original so much, it doesn't matter how shitty it is, they'll still say they like it. Same thing happened with that fucking Ghostbusters movie, too, when it came out, the Afterlife or whatever. The fan base is so strong that, you know, anything's going to taste good. A big turd sandwich will taste good to them.
That's sadly true. Oh, yeah, man. I talked about this movie a lot back in the day. The Munchies, the poor man's gremlins.
Yeah. What about Munchie? With that
Munchie.
little fucking
Munchie was not nearly as good
monkey
to me as
looking
Munchies, but yeah.
poor Andrew Stevens balls.
Do you remember? Oh my God, CK. Do you remember Roy Sturgill? Was that his name?
Yeah. What in the hell?
Well, that's where I watched that movie.
Oh.
Like he rented Munchies, and like I remember like being over at his house like a sleepover, and we watched the fucking movie for the first time, and just like thinking it was the greatest thing ever, and watching it like over and over and over again. It's a piece of shit. I mean, it's not like good, but like when you're a kid, you watch something like that, you're like, oh my God, these Munchies are driving cars and pops are chasing them and whatever, and you're just like marking out.
There's a lot of cheesy movies around that time period that's like that. They don't make them like that anymore.
No.
No, not really. But I remember Munchies. I saw that when I was a kid. I had fun, question mark, with it, but yeah, I had fun enough with it. I never picked up the Blu-ray.
I don't remember this at all. Do y'all remember Rob Zombie was going to make a female violating Sasquatch film around House of a Thousand Corpses time?
Was he
No.
going
He
to
was
play the
attached.
Sasquatch?
Wasn't he attached to another Blob remake back in the day?
Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
was. I remember that. Yeah.
He was
Just-
attached to a couple things that never did come to be.
He was going
What
to
was
do a
that?
Crow movie, funny enough. He was gonna
Yeah,
do the
I was going to
Crow.
mention that.
He had that one movie called like T-Rex or something like that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Too, that he was going to do.
That had nothing to do with the T-Rex.
No.
Everybody,
That was
I
just the
remember
name.
like when 31 was announced, everybody was so intrigued with it and so excited and shit. Remember the teasers and everything? And he was going to, did he do a GoFundMe for that? Because I remember like that was the rumor he was going to do it himself, and maybe
don't
he did do
remember-
it himself. That's the
I don't remember if
problem
he
with it.
did a GoFundMe for that one. Maybe he did, though. It seemed like there was something about that.
I think
for a long
that's
time.
probably his shittiest fucking movie. But that or the Monsters.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was going to say either the Monsters or Three from Hell. Like,
Well, here's the thing. I at least got through 3 from Hell. I can never get through 31. I can never finish it. Because I remember, like, we did some sort of Rob Zombie show, and I tried to watch it again. And then when it got to the fucking mini Hitler, or whatever it was, I was like, I remember this. I'm not watching. This shit is
Yep.
fucking stupid. Fucking shit.
you didn't like Little Jimmy Hitler? You know?
Mini Jimmy.
Mini Jimmy. Humongous is underrated. That is actually true.
Yeah.
I wish
Yeah.
that movie would come out on something like too. Extro. Do y'all remember Extro? The alien, like,
Yeah, there's a few extra
Mhm.
movies.
yep. Vinegar
there's-
Syndrome has one of them. I can't remember which one it is now.
It's part 3.
And they never, has anybody ever released the first two on Blu-ray or anything?
Yes, because I remember seeing this not too long ago. But let me see. I'll look up who did because I can't remember now. This was not that.
I think it's overseas or something in it though. It's like a
Maybe.
region two.
The first one is it has a huge extra like figure thing, like crawling on all fours. It's actually pretty cool. Of course, it's German.
You bought it, right?
I did not buy it. I should have, but I didn't.
Oh shit!
There's Mark may have this one, but it's going for big money. We were talking about Anguish the other day.
Oh yeah,
That has a German Blu-ray. It came out a few years ago. Do you have that one, Mark?
I actually no. I have the I think it's the Blue Underground DVD, or was it Anchor Bay? One of the two.
I think they both did a DVD.
Okay, I probably have the Blue Underground one then, more than likely.
But yeah, that Blu-ray, they must have not made many of them. Like I can only find it for over $100 online. So,
What is it with you and Anguish all of a sudden? Anyway?
I've just been, I'm wanting to get it before Halloween and watch it again. I'm just in the mood to check it out.
He gets on these tangents with one particular movie sometimes. I notice.
Well, last year it was Pen. I bought Pen in time to watch for Halloween. So it's always good to do.
Extro has a limited edition Blu-ray box set from Second Sight, apparently.
Makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Did you guys see that limited edition that I think it's imprinted for the Never Ending Story? That's really fucking
I was
killer.
going to,
But damn, it's like $200, man. What the hell?
I'm going to tell you right now, there ain't no way Mark's not buying that.
Look,
You'll never convince me he ain't going to buy that.
I was tempted, but I haven't yet. I don't think I will.
Anybody that grew up with that movie, though, they make it very, very difficult. When you see the packaging, you'll know what I mean.
So you're thinking maybe if she's not looking, you'll be tempted? Hey, I don't know what happened. It just, a 200 just went missing. I don't know.
Just tell her I sent it to you for free.
I'll launder some money in PayPal, so she'd never notice that.
Yeah,
It's getting it in the house.
I'll guarantee you he's got like some sort of scheme where like he's moving around funds. He's like some sort of pyramid scheme in his house, like keep that secret.
You know it's bad though if you get shit mailed to your work, right? And I've done that before with certain things, like the Never Ending Story. If I order it,
here's one. The Boogans. I just watched this not too long ago.
I like that movie a lot, man. Some people shit all over that movie.
Interesting,
but I've always enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay. Carter Dention and William both sent you 2 super chats, one apiece.
You want me to get the super chat?
I'm way behind in this chat.
Let's see. Rob Zombie's Blob would have been Sid Hagen, a wife beater, or William Forsythe, either one. Thank you, Carter. And Dumal, who I just watched. I Saw the Devil. That's the name of it, right?
Yeah, I did too.
And we're going to be doing a review. That's his August request. That's a crazy fucking movie. Jesus Christ. Anyway,
yeah.
Troll 2 is my favorite creature. There's sandwiches for tonight in here. I love it, man. It'll go easier on you. Otherwise, we'll be forced to kill you violently.
Yeah, exactly.
As he proceeds to throw like an empty paper bag at the porch.
What is the line that she
Sheriff
says?
Jane Freak, man.
What is the line the sister says to about like what? Something like, my boyfriend's gonna cut your little Peter off, or my dad, or something like that.
My dad'll cut your balls off and eat them.
It's like, what the fuck kind of line is that?
Yeah.
That's always one of my favorites.
My favorite has to be you can't piss in hospitality. I won't allow it.
I won't allow it.
He looked really mad too when he did that line.
Yeah.
What I thought was so great though is how much like George Hart, how proud he is of that movie, and he just has so much fun talking about it still to this day. He's like a local celebrity in his little small town. I think he lives in like Alabama or somewhere. He's a dentist or something, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dentist.
And I'll never forget, like, probably the most fun that we had doing an interview, I think just laugh out loud fun, is when we had him and Joshua on, Michael Stevenson, on at the same time for an interview back in the day. And there was a long time there where Michael Stevenson, because I was like obsessed with Troll 2 for years. This was back before the documentary and all that stuff was even thought of. Like, and I aggravated the fuck out of Michael Stevenson. He had a MySpace page, and I was like just trying to get an autograph or something, right? Because I was just a mega fan of, and he would never respond, wanted to avoid everything Troll 2. But finally one day, I guess he was just like, fuck it. This is all I'm ever going to be known for. Let's embrace it. So,
I mean, that movie got to the point where it was like really, really big. It had a cult following there. So I think he saw that finally and was kind of like, all right, let's just ride this out and see what we can do with it. He did pretty well with it too, the documentary and everything.
I saw something where the actor that played Grandpa Seth had just died in the last year or two. How old would that guy have had to have been? He had to be up there, man, because that movie was shot in like the late 80s or something.
Yeah.
Terrorvision. Not the company, I don't think. The actual movie.
Television.
Ooh, I'd say you haven't seen this one, no, Sick. It's a full moon one, so it's probably best to avoid.
Terrorvision.
Yeah.
think
Screen
I've seen
Factory
it.
came out with it
Yeah,
on
I've
a
seen it.
yeah,
I've got
Yeah,
it.
it did.
yeah, like a double Blu-ray or
Double
something.
With
feature.
the Video Dead and Terrorvision.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
it's
guy from
okay. I mean, to me,
the guy from Monster Squad and Napoleon Dynamite, he's in it, like a heavy metal guy with blonde hair. The guy who's the werewolf in the Monster Squad, who's also, I forget his name.
Oh, yeah. I think the Video Dead is my favorite out of those two.
yeah, mine too. I haven't seen this movie, but it's brought up a lot. Terror Within.
Oh yeah, George Kennedy, Corman produced it. It's pretty much take the alien and put it in a bunker.
Another Andrew Stevens joint too.
Oh no! See, Andrew Stevens is just when you see that name, you're
He's a
begging
lucky
for trouble.
motherfucker, though. Think of all them Skinamax movies he did with Tanya Roberts back in the day.
I was
Shannon
back-
Tweed.
Yeah,
Man, I was just watching that documentary that Vinegar Syndrome put out about that. We Kill for Love. It was on TV, and that thing's like 3 hours long, but it's amazing because it showcases so many various clips from all those, like what they called erotic thrillers from back then. A lot
Night
of Andrew
Eyes.
Stevens. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Remember, like, the covers of fucking Night Eyes? He'd have, like, no shirt on and be like,
Yeah. Come on.
have a girl bent over or whatever in front of him. Shit was great.
Oh man.
It's like those 15 witchcraft movies.
Yep.
That I can't find a
I
single
think there
person
was-
who's seen one.
There's probably more than 15. Didn't they continue to make them, like, all through, like, the 90s and 2000s and shit?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Jeez. I wonder how many of those I'm gonna look up how many witchcraft movies there actually are.
They'd probably say, like, 87 or something.
It's that never-ending list.
They quit
Witchcraft
counting.
movies. Let's see.
It's
Jesus, it's like he goes all the way across the screen.
It's like the Amityville movies, man. They quit counting. I don't think anybody knows.
All right, hold on. Let's go down here. Witchcraft. So there are. There's got to be more than that. This is
What?
saying 10, but I know there's more than that.
Yeah, I think there's more than 10.
Witchcraft. Maybe they're called something else after a certain point. I know they made at least 15 of them damn things, though. Anyway.
Wet Movie says that he was actually in Witchcraft 15 and 16.
Well, there you
So
go.
there's more than 10. How you doing,
Yeah.
Brandon?
On Wikipedia, I have here 16 of them from 1988 to 2016. 16.
16.
Why?
That sounds right. Because they're awesome, Mark. You love
bad.
the witchcraft.
Didn't it seem like all of them had the exact same fucking cover too?
yeah,
They all look-
it's just
it
some
looked identical
variation of like
Yeah.
a pentagram and some woman like half naked.
with the witchcraft logo.
Here's the thing, that might be the series of sequels that's like the most unnecessary. Like, I don't know who those were made for or like what the deal was, but 16 of those is just crazy.
I want to know how many in the chat or in this has seen even one of them.
I've never seen a witchcraft movie.
And
I don't think I've ever watched them. Like it's a staple in a video store. I just remember the covers and stuff, but I never did. I don't think I ever watched any of them.
that's the thing. I can't find anyone who's actually seen them, but they made so many. I love that movie, Gabbo. I always talk about that guy's accent from Maine. I think he's supposed to be from Maine, Stephen
Mhm.
Mott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who I met at the show one time. He was a really nice guy.
Oh, cool.
Nice. Yeah, that's an underrated one for me. I like Graveyard Shift quite a bit.
Did you ask him anything like a Monster Squad or such, or just met him?
I don't really recall, like that was a long time ago, but we were talking about Monster Squad, I think, and he was mainly just asking me more questions than anything. But yeah, he primarily looked the same. It's so weird. Like this was 25, 26 years after the movie came out when I met him, so he had to be getting up there at that point. They had like a little mini Monster Squad reunion at one of those shows that he was there. I think Ryan Lambert was there, Andre Gower.
I have a friend who met him who asked him, "You ever give him a state for Fred Ward?" And he's like, "Yes."
I guarantee it's true. Yeah.
I could see that.
Because you watch Graveyard Shift and then you see Fred Ward in Tremors. Stephen Mott's like the evil version of Fred Ward in that movie. Same haircut, same everything.
Getting back to the Stud Muffin Mark, yeah, it's his new gimmick.
Yeah. That
Might
sounds
as well
like
embrace
man from like WCW in the 90s. It really does. Stud Muffin Mark.
Stud
Kingdom
Muffin
of
Mark
Oz.
and yeah, the new American Males with Scotty Riggs and Stud
God,
Muffin Mark.
American Males 2000.
But like the
Hobbs,
convention thing though, like did you hear that Scarefest has like 90 guests booked?
Yeah, I
at
mean,
this point?
I was looking at the list not too long ago. I was like, Jesus Christ.
That's going to be the
man.
biggest fucking mess ever.
Yeah, that's going to be a clusterfuck for sure.
They just signed Clive Barker to it, and it's supposed to be his very last convention.
Well, then I'm not going because if they like no shit, like I mean, I'd like to have something signed by Clive Barker, but I'm not going to fuck with all that lines and stuff because there'll be a million people there, man.
About how much is it normally, guess-wise, on average?
They're going up and up every year. Like I
Yeah.
don't think them people know what the fuck they're doing that own Scarefest now. They could get away with half of that guest
Yeah,
list.
nobody, and it's like people. A lot of them are people nobody cares about or have done like 1,000 conventions, but like,
They bring them there every year. The same fucking people too. Like Kane Hodder's been there at every Scarefest, I think.
yep.
Is it
But-
desperation or they just don't know any better?
I mean, it's not desperation, I don't think, because it's a packed. Like they sell tons of tickets, don't they, Uncle Bill? I mean, last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's
You would.
always packed. There's always like a ton of people there, but that's the problem, right? So, like last year when we went, I was like, this is really like too many people. So now you're going to probably double that this year by what if they're getting Clive and all the guests that they've got there. Like, you won't even be able to move. It'll be
Well,
really
we
uncomfortable.
have a few Clive Barker autographs from back in the day because
Yeah.
he was one of the very best through the mail people like 20 years ago or whatever it was. He would fucking like you would have a damn letter, a customized letter from him. He'd sign the letter, which, you know, it may have been a form letter. I don't know, but most people didn't even do that. Put your address on there and everything. And it's a class act, Clive Barker. I'm glad he's still around, man. He's been in poor health though for over 10, 15 years at least. I'm shocked that he's still alive.
I don't know what this is. A couple people brought this up though. What is Bash in Berlin? Is that some sort of like
That's the
Wrestling
pay-per-view
pay-per-view?
tomorrow night, yeah. Actually,
But-
tomorrow morning because they're in Berlin.
It's at like, when does it start? I don't even
I think
know.
11:30 a.m. Yeah. Right before noon. Yeah.
See you, Bubsy. Frogs. We've actually watched, I forgot about this. We've watched several like kind of creature feature films here lately for Kino Cult. And I thought Food of the Gods was like hilariously bad and great at the same time. If you've never seen
I've
it.
been watching Squirm too. They came out with that one last week. That's a pretty killer fucking movie. I mean, just creative. Like they didn't have a whole lot to work with as far as makeup effects or anything, but for 1976, it was pretty solid. It still holds up overall.
And didn't you guys see one of Empire of the Ants? I believe was one, or
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can watch that one.
That's
I've
just
still got to
fucking
watch.
hilarious.
I've still got to review Kingdom of the Spiders, which is like the William Shatner one.
Right. Okay.
And then Kino did like some other ones a year or two ago, all right together like that too. Like Tarantula was one. I think they had like an octopus one. I can't remember the name of all these. There's another ants one too. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah. I think it was just called Ants. I think those were TV movies or something. There's tons of them.
Yeah. There was where it's literally just killer ants just on people at a picnic and stuff.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Tentacles. That was the octopus one.
Tentacle, if you will.
Oh yeah.
What about the Nest? Killer cockroaches, I think.
I love that one. That one, it's also cool because the third act, because there's experiments on them, there's a little bit of John Carpenter's thing in terms of like they become like more creative special effects. I'll put it that way, much more gory than you would think. So, like someone turns into one, so the eyeball pops out, and like all done practically. Pretty cool stuff. Plus, just roaches themselves are so itty anyway.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I gotta say though, people are mentioning the names of all these movies like they're all Kino titles.
Yeah.
For the price, I think Kino's hard to beat as far as these studios go.
Yeah.
Kino doesn't really fuck up either. Have you noticed that?
No,
Like, in terms of releasing or
Well, they keep it
quality control?
simple. Like they don't really do like Kathy's terse eyeball stuff. And
That's something I forgot to bring up that I wanted to bring up in that
Oh, okay.
video. Was that whole shit with Kathy's curse? I forgot all about that.
yeah, and like all their stuff is uniform. Like there's not a bigger like sometimes they do box sets, but everything is pretty much uniform. They all it all looks, encyclopedia style on the shelf or whatever. Classy.
they keep it pretty simple. And maybe that's why. Like there's not a whole lot of features. There's not a whole lot of bells and whistles, but like you said, for the budget, for the money you pay. And they get some good titles, like Summer Rentals coming out, which is
Hell
cool.
yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
So
And then
Which
like when they have these sales, you can get this stuff for crazy cheap, like $8 or $9.
yeah.
I'm hoping to get Leviathan at some point, like super cheap. If they ever like come down on it. Which was worse though, Willard or Ben? I'm not sure if I've ever seen Ben. I know I've seen Willard.
I'd probably say Ben was worse, but it's been a long time.
Wasn't Ben like a bigger hit though back in the day? Didn't that? Wasn't that
Yeah,
like a
probably
huge
because that
success?
damn Michael Jackson song.
Oh,
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. That was his first song, right? His first solo song.
I don't know if it was his first, but it
I
definitely
think
his
it
first
was.
big hit. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's
His first
that-
solo single or something like
singing
that.
to a fucking rat.
That's so
You
killer.
and I must make a pact. Ben, get your ass over here. Joe Jackson smacking Ben around. Alligator. We all know and love Alligator.
Mm-hmm.
Alligator 2, the mutation bulls.
Yeah.
You got to complete the
God, no.
Mm-mm. No.
franchise.
Joseph Baloney.
Joe Bologna, baby. Fucking
Orca, the killer whale.
Uncle Bill's drunk buddy was in that too.
Oh,
Richard Lee.
Oh yeah, he was in
God.
Alligator 2, that's right. That's the Hunter.
I swear though, like just the fact that he's in something to me makes it better. Like I don't know why.
It does.
He's
You're
just-
right.
He's fucking
'Cause he's-
captivating, man.
Because he's never
Right.
like he's never like he's in the same movie. He's like in his own fucking world or something, doing like his own thing. Like in every movie I've ever seen that guy in, he's like that.
And you still have that poster, right? That he ripped.
Yeah, it's somewhere out here. He ripped all the shit. Yeah.
What's funny is like Felcher doesn't talk shit hardly about anybody, but he talks shit about I guess Richard Lynch, where he's dead, he don't care. But like about how difficult it was to try to interview him because he was fucking drunk off of his ass.
That makes sense.
Well, fuck me, boys.
In the ice.
Right in the ice. We may have
Or-
ran out of
Orca.
creature feature films. I've never seen
I've-
Orca.
Actually, Orca's not too bad. I dig it for what it is. But I was actually going to bring up one. How do you guys feel about Split Second? Rutger
Oh
Hauer.
hell, that's like a great performance from him, just like chugging fucking coffee and like just manic
Yeah.
all the time throughout the whole film.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rutger Hauer's another one of those actors too that was just captivating. Like anything that he's in, he makes
Yep.
makes it better. Like I remember
Absolutely.
marking out where which was it that Batman Begins he was in or whatever, and just the
Yeah.
fact
Yeah.
that he was in it, I fucking marked out. I was like, holy shit!
Listen, I loved Hobo with a Shotgun. I thought that movie was like one of the unsung cult films that have come out like the last 10 or 15 years. Like his monologue in that movie is amazing, where he's like over the standing at the nursery or whatever.
Yeah.
That one
He's
doesn't
like-
get talked about anymore. I mean, when
No.
it first came out, like people were all over it, but now you rarely see anybody mention it.
What
It's
was
great,
that?
though.
Was it Blind Fury or something like that
Yeah,
with him?
Blind Fury.
That one still holds up pretty good. It's pretty fucking.
I love
good.
that one.
Yeah,
What's the
We'll
other
find-
one where he wears the collar too? I love that one. Deadlock or not Deadlock, but
Wedlock.
Wanted Dead or Alive.
Wedlock.
is it that the one where he's got the collar? If he,
Yeah.
it'll explode or something if they leave,
Yep.
something like that. Yeah,
Mm.
that movie's great.
Yeah,
I
it's two
vaguely
titles.
remember that one.
Deadlock,
Wanted-
aka Wedlock. Yeah.
Yeah, Wanted Dead or Alive is great too because it's got Gene Simmons in it.
Yeah, it's the
Like,
bad
that's-
guy.
Yeah.
He blows up a movie theater showing Rambo. I remember that, and yeah, I love that. But Blind Fury, I love. What was the
Yeah.
line? The bad guy's like, "Go get Bruce Lee. He's dead." Well, then get his
Chokazuki.
brother.
Isn't
Yeah.
Shokazuki's at the end of that too,
Yep.
right? He's like the boss or something.
He has a fight with blind Rutger Hauer, and it's like they can't fall in the water. They get electrocuted or something, and it's a lot of fun. Blind Fury.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dino.
Very cool, man.
I'm having an awesome Friday. I'm just relaxing, boss.
So the dummies are working.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Them gummies are hitting in effect. Oh yeah, this is one we talked about. This is from our buddy
Hmm.
Girdler. That's a Girdler joint right there. The Manitow, however you pronounce it.
Haven't
that's-
seen that one.
God,
That's a weird one. Yeah.
Very weird movie. Yeah.
He,
It's
like
about-
he only made like a handful of 3 or 4
Yeah,
movies.
he made Grizzly. He made that.
Abby.
Abby. That might be it.
He died at a really young age of a helicopter crash or something like that.
Oh
And,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't
the
know how to even-
Manitow is probably his most famous one, right? Would you say?
I think Grizzly.
Probably.
I would say Grizzly.
Any
that was a
one of those
huge hit.
3, really, like depending on who you ask, would probably
Right.
be. Yeah.
I do love Grizzly. I think doesn't the bear just take the kid, just throw it or something?
I
Smash
just
the kid.
recently bought that movie again on Blu-ray, like literally a couple months ago. I got to go back and watch it again.
I mean, he takes like a rocket launcher and blows the bear up at the end or something. I love that. I love that kind of stuff. Just the shark blew up, so have the bear blow up. Yeah.
So,
Little
okay,
Bobby.
there's not a lot to choose from, but what's your favorite Gene Simmons performance?
For me, it's always Runaway.
That's what I was thinking.
I love that movie. The heat-seeking bullets, and Gene Simmons is really good. He's like And I love the whole killer robot spider that spits acid, and
Yeah.
the kid from was it over the no Fly the Intruder, right? Fly the Navigator, I mean? Isn't that the same kid? Yeah, he plays the son, Fly the Navigator kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, if you like that movie, I would definitely recommend the documentary about that guy after, because it goes through like his troubles, serving prison time, and clean himself up. Very good, well done documentary. It's like life after the Navigator.
I can't even
Oh
read
yeah,
this comment, but
that's a good one. I think it was on Amazon or something, wasn't it? I watched it back when it came out. Well, Gene Simmons is technically acting in Detroit Rock City. That's a pretty good one.
I was going to mention that. I was just thinking about that. Picked that right out of my head.
That movie is way better than it has any right to be.
Yeah.
It is
mostly
fun.
because of Adam Rifkin, I think. Like that movie's worth of shit.
Well, also card attention. Kiss sells everything. They sold Kiss like toilet paper. They sold out in every way, shape, or form. Jesus, oh my god, man! He'll have like a Kiss ton dispenser, whatever the hell.
Well, he was one of the first. Like, the Kiss was one of the very first to do that too. Like, they were kind of, when it comes to merchandise, they had original like action figures back in like the late 70s or something, didn't they, Uncle Bill?
Yeah, they were, when it comes to that, they were like the innovators of cash flow.
I mean, the Kiss of today or for the last 25, 30 years, I mean, it's really, damaged in my opinion.
Yeah. No, but like, they've had like 18 farewell tours.
Right. But like the original run of Kiss, I would say from like, I would even put it through the mid 80s.
Yep.
I mean, it's
well, the early 90s, I thought the Revenge album was great.
Right. That was 90, 89 or 90 or something like that. But I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's just they beat it into the ground at this point.
But like,
Psycho Circus done me, and I heard that. I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, Psycho Circus was awful. I think it's really more Gene and Paul everybody hates, though, to be honest. Like, I mean, Ace and Peter, like, they are just kind of like they're the actual, like, they're the band part of that. Like, the other guys are the writers, but they are the more respected kind of like. The other guys just fucking don't care about anything but money whatsoever.
Right. Well, the biggest hit was a Peter Criss song, right? Beth, that was their biggest hit.
Yep.
And he did Black Diamond as well, which I think is one of their best songs.
It is. I mean, most of the stuff I like by them, he sang. Like my favorite songs from Kiss, like, would be Peter Criss, like, because he sang like the majority of like Rock Bottom and stuff too, and like, I mean,
Parasite, wasn't that him?
No, Parasite was Gene.
Was it?
I think so, yeah. But he did Hard Luck Woman, and he's had a lot of good ones.
Did he do the God Gave Rock and Roll, the one from Bill and Ted 2?
No, that was Gene.
Damn. But I still like that song. Didn't he do a reality show, Gene Simmons?
Probably.
He did.
He probably did.
Family
Yeah,
Jewels?
he did.
He
Yeah,
did.
with his family. That was a horrible fucking show too.
I saw something on YouTube the other day.
Strange Ways. That's my favorite too. You're right.
You guys probably don't remember this either. Do you remember when The Big Show had his own sitcom on Netflix?
Yeah.
What?
I
don't
do.
remember that at all.
I forgot that happened.
I saw, like, I was just scrolling through Facebook and they had like a scene from it. I guess it was on WWE's YouTube page or something. And it was called The Big Show Show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a sitcom of, like, I guess he's playing himself.
Is he just interviewing people like?
No, it's like the fucking Family Matters with The Big Show.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Being better.
That's why I never watched it.
Oh my god.
Oh shit. This wasn't too awful long. It was probably 6 or 7 years ago.
The Big Show was a massive failure. Yeah, I would imagine that would be the case.
Who the hell like even would have the balls to pitch that? Like just that idea is hilarious. I mean, it's fucking hilarious if they would do it.
Oh god, this might be like one of the worst wrestling angles ever. I like the episode where they tell his dad's coughing.
They did a lot of crazy shit around that time period. You remember where the Big Boss Man fed Al Snow's dog to him?
Yep.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
God, that was that the Vince Russo days? Was he like writing at that point? He had to have been.
It was around that time, I think. I'm not really sure.
That just seems like shit he would be doing. Kiss meets the Phantom of the Park. I've never been able to sit through that movie successfully, like all the way through.
I've never seen it.
It's awful.
It's a TV movie.
Yeah.
It's a no budget, TV movie. And they have like, don't they have fake Peter Chris's? And
Yeah. Well, like the stuntmen and stuff in it are clearly not any of those guys. And they show them like way too much.
yeah.
And the dialogue, I think, is ADR'd. So, like, it's just really apparent that they don't even know what the hell's going on.
Oh, thank you, Love and Kindness. He sent you guys a super chat for $4.99.
Oh, yeah, here we go. What did one toilet say the other toilet? We'll name the band Kiss. That's not nice.
There are Kiss toilets, so you're on the mark.
Yeah.
On that.
Kiss coffins, Kiss toilets. I'm sure there's Kiss refrigerators.
Oh, yeah.
I can believe this, Dino. I'm at Big Show, my uncle's restaurant, and he took pics of me off. That guy ate like €4 with all the trimmings and salt, and a sold for $8 with a bunch of pastries. And a sold, I don't know what it was, but yeah, I imagine that guy eats.
Yeah. I'd say he's got a hell of an appetite.
Phantom of the Park had a black Australia ahead of its time and does some work. It really did, though. The stuntman was black, yeah, which is insane to think about. They thought
That was what year was that? That was in like the 70s, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was. I'd say that was 70. If I guess, it's 77 or 78.
Yeah. Could you imagine when the Big Show takes a dump, like one of those big colon cleansing dumps?
Not really.
God, I don't want to think about it.
I don't know what you guys tell about the eating stuff. Maybe I think of like that guy Ryback does, where he's like, I'm going to sit and eat in front of everybody and just stuff my face.
That guy is the biggest tool, man. Like, I hate watching anything he does.
That's a big thing, though. Like, what do they call it on YouTube?
They call it mukbang when you just like.
What's that mean? Where's that come from?
I don't know. I have no idea. I just know it's like a whole subgenre of shit of videos where people will just eat as much as they possibly can in front of like the camera.
You know what I think of every time I hear the word mukbang?
Yeah, I probably
have a feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I bet you don't.
Okay.
The South Park, I want to finger bang you into my life.
No, that's not what I was thinking.
It's finger banging. It's all right.
Killer comment. Andre John used to have shit.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Look up we did like a little clip where Andre the Giant shit all over Bad News Brown for real. This really happened in Mexico.
Yeah.
Where Andre had he had a ton, like he loved to drink. That was the big thing too. And he had like, I don't know, 15 margaritas or whatever before this match. And of course he had diarrhea. And, you know, the little butt spot that he did where he held onto the corner and just like smacked the guy. So as he was doing that, his, you know, and it was like dripping all over Bad News Brown. There's never been any footage or pictures of it, but could you imagine? That would be a hell of a sight and smell.
Jesus.
What was the one watch all you guys did? It was like a wrestling match where Freddie and Jason fought. It was like in Japan or something.
Oh yeah, it was like that was when they did Leatherface and those gimmicks. Yeah.
Bunch of crazy shit in Japan around that time period. They had a Leatherface, Jason, Freddie. They had a Chucky at one point.
Oh God.
The Chucky might have been in Mexico, though. I don't remember. Might have been one of those Mexican minis.
Oh, God. I remember hearing
Japanese wrestling was some crazy shit, though, back in the day, wasn't it, Uncle Bill? You remember we used to get those big Japan wrestling tapes and watch them?
Oh, yeah.
They would get piranhas. They'd have a piranha death match where they'd have like a fucking tank.
Those piranhas were clearly not like, they were like half dead, just floating
They were
around.
probably a little bluegill or something like that.
Yeah. They had bluegills. That'd be awesome.
Where would
Just
you find these
painted 'em
tapes? Like in the mail or?
Yeah, I
These
used to. My first big thing, like when I got the internet, was trading wrestling tapes.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I used to trade wrestling tape with a lot of people that ended up getting in the wrestling business pretty hardcore too, oddly enough. But yeah, that was the first big thing. And like, this was right after probably the most infamous one is that King of the Death match one with, that they've shown on WWF with Flair, or with, not Flair, Foley and, Terry Funk and the Man.
Oh, God.
And that kind of got everybody's interest up in all those hardcore Japan matches.
I didn't realize until recently that Terry Funk broke Edge's neck. Like, did you know that?
No.
He was doing a shoot interview with, I think, that Van Vliet guy. I don't know how to
Chris Van Vliet. Yeah.
Man, he's been fucking like killing it with the interviews lately. Like, I love his interviews.
Yeah.
And shit.
So there was a spot that he did with Terry Funk where like Terry Funk used a fucking no, I'm sorry, that wasn't Edge. That was fucking Stevie Richards. I'm thinking of. So yeah, Steve Richards, where like Terry Funk picked up the guardrail and fucking was trying to hit him in the back with it and missed.
Oh,
and
you're right.
Neck,
and hit him in the neck.
and like
Right.
broke his neck.
Like I think he tried to like lean out of the way a little bit to
Yeah.
get more of the impact on the back and hit him in the neck. I remember.
So
that.
those two shows I watched, like the Stevie Richards one that he's got out right now, I watch all the time, and then I watch the Chris Van Vliet one. So like I get those confused in my head.
So I was curious, how did you first find out about the Japan stuff? Were you told about this, or did you just find out of the blue, like random chance, or?
I think that they covered it on an episode of Raw. Like, didn't they do like segments? Mark may remember this. I don't know, with Jim Ross and they were finally giving Mankind kind of an origin story with everybody. Like, you know, they mentioned Cactus Jack finally and all of his other alter egos and stuff, and they showed the part of that match on Raw. I think actually.
That's true. That's AEW for you.
Yeah.
So Matt, CK Mark, and Baby Bill.
Baby Bill.
Baby Bill. If you would do a stand in the pitch dark room for an hour, would you do it? I can see Matt stand there with no fear.
As long as no one's near me.
Stand in a pitch black room for an hour.
Well, what would I get out of it? I'd have to get something out of it.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we saw Skinnamarink, and that's pretty much the same thing.
Right. Just give me a gummy or two to be all right. We'll work.
Is this something you? Let's say it was $1,000.
Oh yeah.
And let's say a fear factor type of thing, like you had to eat, I don't know, a rhino's nuts or something.
What would you do for $1,000? Is the real question here.
I've had lamb. They're called lamb fries. You guys know what that is?
That reminds me of that scene in Chevy Chase movie.
You remember this, don't you, Uncle Bill? Wasn't it me, you, and Jess at the time? I'll go ahead and say it. We were at
shit, I do remember that.
Columbia's or whatever. My dad would always he would fuck with him, but not do shit like this. And he was like, "Yeah, order me a dozen those lamb fries they got and bring them back to the house." I was like, "Lamb fries? What the fuck?" And then he was like, "Oh, try you one. They're really good. While they're hot, try one." And yeah, of course, it was like lamb testicles is what it was.
Okay.
God damn it.
And I was like, "Motherfucker, I brought him to you. I brought him back to you. I want to see you eat it." And he did. He ate a couple of them.
Oh,
So the joke ended up being on him too.
How they taste?
Funny Farm. That's what where he has to eat like is it like it's some sort of balls, like he has to eat like a bunch of them to beat the record at this restaurant.
The
movie's
closest thing that I could describe lamb fries to is like very tough, like fried mushrooms, like chewier fried mushrooms.
Ugh.
Is that how they tasted to you too?
Yeah, yeah.
And what about you? Had some, right, Uncle Bill?
I don't think I did.
Oh,
I don't. Even if I did, I ain't gonna fucking say I did. I'll tell you that right now.
I put a little bit of ketchup on it. It was, I mean, I didn't know what it was when I ate it. So of course, like I was like, oh, these are okay.
Yeah.
Let's would Matt, Mark, or Bill work a death match? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I know. I would honestly pee. I can admit I'd be too scared to be like that thing that happened to David Arquette, where he like got that. Didn't he have a glass in his neck?
Well, that guy was fucking nuts. That's why.
That guy.
Yeah, but it's death match. Of course they're nuts.
Nick Gage or something like that.
Yeah.
Was that who it was?
Yeah. He's on a whole nother level. Didn't he die during a match or something?
That's what he says. Yeah.
They revived him and then he wanted to finish the match. Like that's a whole nother level of nuts.
You can just tell when I watched that he wasn't all there. Like there was something missing in his head where he's just like, he didn't care whether he lived or died, really.
No.
But you guys really do a death match? Like you explode and you burn up?
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah, why not?
Good luck. I'll be out at referee or I'll be outside.
Be the manager.
I've heard people say though that like a lot of that stuff isn't nearly as painful as you think it would be.
That's
but I still wouldn't try it. But yeah, they said like the fluorescent light bulb thing isn't one that doesn't hurt at all. I don't see how it couldn't, but
I'll take
I don't know. Landing on thumbtacks.
I was getting ready to say the thumbtacks gimmick has got to be. What
about Terry Funk with the flaming branding iron in ECW?
Yeah,
I'm not getting burned by that shit.
He caught himself on fire that time too.
The barbed wire match with him and Sabu that time, man. Oh God, that looked so painful. It ripped Sabu's pants off pretty much too. I remember that. Like he got his pants caught in the barbed wire.
The one thing I never understood too is that night when like everybody in the audience threw chairs in the ring, how somebody didn't get killed. Like, because I think it's Terry Funk is like standing up almost the entire time until he finally like realizes I should probably just like go down. But like,
he like did the Ric Flair fall forward bump.
Like, how did somebody not get fucking cracked in the back of the neck or something with a chair?
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean that happened. Gypsy Joe, poor son of a bitch. New Jack, buddy. New Jack.
He was so
New Jack's. He was one of a kind. He was crazy.
Yeah. I feel like we veered way off topic. There's no getting back. Like the topic.
Fred Menendez got away with an ease back into horror.
Well, New Jack is a feature on himself.
That's true. Let's see. Since DeadPit is a horror movie channel, what do you guys think of 90s Kane and Undertaker? I mean, Kane might be one of the best gimmicks ever, to be honest. I mean, in terms of a gimmick that was built on top of another gimmick, that's got to be the best one.
Yeah, I mean his early when he first debuted, that I guess first 5 to 6 months where they were just building him up, and he would come out 3-4 times a night, choke slam people, and then just leave.
Yep.
Yeah. The problem with that thing though is they didn't want to end it. Like it was going on forever. Mm-hmm. Like they had the match at Mania, but then they continued to have more matches. For years, it seems like.
I've never been a fan of those matches, honestly. I think they're a great tag team, and I like them individually as wrestlers, but I don't. Any Kane versus Undertaker match, I never really got into.
You know what would have been really cool though, if they would have brought the Underfaker back again and had a 3-way dance with Kane, and the fake Undertaker and the real Taker. That would have been cool.
Did they
About
ever?
fatal 4-way with the fake cane.
When I was a kid, I thought it was so cool that when Undertaker finally came back, like the story was they killed Undertaker off at Royal Rumble or something like that, and he floated up like a ghost or whatever. I don't know what the plan was at that point, if he was going to retire or what, but when he come back, they hired primetime Brian Lee from Smoky Mountain Wrestling, who they were buddies, I think.
Yeah, he was part of that DOA
And
shit.
They did look very similar. Like, this was very cool how they put it together, but they had a real turd of a match, and like that was it. After that match, he was done.
So let me ask you all this: like, what's your favorite kind of version of the Undertaker? Because he had at least 4, really.
Ministry, probably.
Ministry Undertaker, yeah.
For me, it was like when he first came out, when he was like the Wild West, like Undertaker.
Is this when he was putting people in body bags?
Well, this was even before that. This is when Brother Love was with him.
Oh wow, we're like super
Very early. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, probably biker Undertaker.
Biker Undertaker, yeah, that was a cool period.
Oh, American Badass Taker.
Yeah.
I hated the gimmick though.
So that's what, like, when you watch wrestling, do you like the sort of more ridiculous, silly, outlandish stuff, or are you more into like, Steamboat versus Ric Flair type of stuff?
I like it all, man.
Okay.
Like, one of my favorite pay-per-views, and hopefully we're going to do like a WrestleManiacs episode on it, because I've talked about it forever, is the Chamber of Horrors Halloween Havoc 91. It's probably the best bad pay-per-view of all time.
I haven't seen that one.
WCW in 1991. Oh my God. Like, it was so fucking, like, they had some of the stupidest gimmicks. This was when Kevin Nash was Oz, and he had the old fucking the old wizard mask,
the old man mask on, yeah.
that they bought at the Sundry store or whatever, latex mask. And that was the show where Abdul the Butcher got electrocuted in the chair.
Is that the one where like,
good. It's so
like
good.
the damn switch fell before it even was supposed to? Yeah.
It was
I
like,
saw that.
yeah.
Like, it's on fire. They have to put it out.
Like his head, like call it
Yeah,
like had some
it
sort
was
of gimmick,
smoking or
sparks
whatever.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. They had so many shitty gimmicks too. Bill Kazmaier, the strong man, right? He was out there and had like this big blow up globe that he was carrying in the fucking rain.
It's supposed to be like the Atlas gimmick, yeah. Oh,
They
What
had
would he-
so many bad.
What would he do with it? Just bring it in?
he just carried it down.
Just
the
carried
ring,
it and throwed it out to the side of the ring or something. I don't know what he did with it.
Oh, we need to watch that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do something with it.
Never seen that one.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Anyway. Let's see. Chat wise, now we're completely like we're on a roll here with the wrestling.
Coal Miner's Glove match.
Yeah,
boys.
everybody knows that.
The Halloween Havoc pay-per-views though were like, they were an all-time favorite of mine when I was a kid. Like, I always look forward to those.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look up real quick like what were the main events of those just to see starting around 90, 91.
Well, the funny thing is, now I've still got this tape somewhere. It had the pay-per-view feed of Halloween Havoc 91 and WrestleMania 8, I think. I think they were both on the same tape. And the main event of Halloween Havoc 91 live, it was that Chamber of Horrors match, because that damn cage was so huge.
Yep.
And they had to it took them forever to take it apart. I guess they probably worked on it the whole day putting it together or something. I don't know. And that's why it was the first match. But I think maybe the video version, they probably edited it into the last match or something.
So it looks like in 1990, Halloween Havoc wasn't gimmicked out yet, because like the main event was Sting and Sid Vicious, and then Stan Hansen and Luger. So I mean, they all look like legitimate
When
kind of matches.
when did RoboCop enter the picture?
That was like
RoboCop was-
92 or 93, right?
I thought it was 90 because RoboCop 2 was coming out in 90.
Let's see. That wouldn't have been Halloween Havoc though, right? That was what was that? Fucking
Capital Combat.
Capital Combat. Yeah.
Yeah.
You knew off the bat. I never saw. I've seen the clips.
That was the
They're
one
like-
and only Capital Combat. Capital Combat, baby.
Capital Combat. So Halloween Havoc 91. You're right. That's like completely fucking crazy.
Cheese.
So you got
It's the Ghoulies
Sting.
2 of wrestling pay-per-views.
the Chambers of Horror match. Sting, El Gigante, the Steiner brothers versus Abdullah the Butcher, the Diamond Stud, Cactus Jack, and Big Van Vader. That's a killer match. Okay, and then you got they got a tag team match, which is Big Josh.
That was the lumberjack wrestler.
Yeah, PM News defeated the Creatures. Creature 1 and 2. God.
The mysterious creatures, I think is what they call
Bill Kazmaier.
Gary
defeated
Michael Capetta. That
Oz.
mysterious creature.
Who was the Halloween Phantom? It says the Halloween Phantom defeated Tom Zink.
Rick Rude, I think, is when they brought Rick Rude back.
That is fucking ridiculous.
Great.
As a Phantom,
They brought him back as the Phantom, and then he took the mask off or whatever at the end of the match.
was like a Phantom of the Opera type of.
Kind of, I think. Yeah. And like
Man.
all of the announcers were dressed up too. Like Bischoff was Dracula.
I remember
That
that.
makes sense. That's
Yeah.
pretty perfect.
Yeah.
He is a bloodsucker.
Yeah, they didn't really do anything like that again. Like no, there wasn't like a chamber. There wasn't a horror themed match. It's just in '92. It's just like basic matches.
Well, at 92 was Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal.
And that's
when
the
they
coal
brought that
miner's
out.
glove match. Yeah.
But that was like, they hopped the hell out of that back in the day with the commercials and everything. Spin the wheel, make the deal.
Okay, I won't go through all these, but that's killer.
They're doing they're doing the Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome thing. Okay. Yeah, the closest you
Right.
get that now is that zombie match with when Army of the Dead came out, the lumberjack zombie match.
Yeah.
And
Hacksaw Jim Duggan was in a horror film. That's fucking killer.
yeah,
Somebody was,
Pro Wrestler vs. Zombies with Roddy Piper.
what was the movie that Ultimate Warrior was in? Does anybody remember?
Firepower, I think, with Gary Daniels.
I would
He was
fuck-
like the bad guy.
It was a pretty big role. I've never seen it. I'd like to see it.
I've only seen clips, but yeah, I think it's called Firepower.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
definitely
was
remember Chucky.
That was at Halloween Havoc in like 90, whatever year Bride of Chucky came out, like 98, I guess.
98, yeah.
Yeah, that was Halloween Havoc as well.
Who was he talking to? Was it the Steiners?
I think it was Steiner.
Rick Steiner, I think.
That just in hindsight, that's even more amazing.
Like, what would you do as a wrestler when it's like, this is what they give you? Yeah, talk to a doll. And...
Rick Steiner must piss somebody off or something.
You know, WCW had a Kiss wrestler around this time too,
Yeah, the demon.
the Kiss Demon. It was the
Mm.
wrestling Gene Simmons.
What was the other guy, though? He was like a heavy metal guy. Was it Van Hammer?
Oh, Heavy Metal Van Hammer, yeah.
Yeah.
That guy was awful.
That was the good old days, boys.
And then they have a dude too that was like a Phantom of the Opera guy, like what was his name?
The Maestro.
Maestro, yeah.
Oh, man.
The fuck is this?
That was the good old days.
I didn't see much of those old WCW. This is all new to me.
Well, that was WWE. The Maestro was like, that was a
Oh.
little bit later, I think, wasn't it?
Huh.
97,
Yeah.
98, something. Like that.
Probably, yeah.
Or no, wait, the Maestro was WCW.
The Maestro was WCW, yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that.
What it was is, though, that wrestler had like the hottest gimmick on the indie scenes, but he couldn't use it because I think he was he was gorgeous, like Gorgeous George Jr. or something like that on the independent scene, because he looked like Gorgeous George, but he couldn't use it. He didn't have the rights to use that name or anything, so they came up with that Maestro gimmick for him.
That's awful gimmick too. It's hard to say like what the worst WCW gimmick was.
I was just going to ask, like, what was the worst one you saw?
I mean, there's so many fucking awful gimmicks, man. Like, even from around like the late 90s, like there was awful gimmicks.
Huge erection was pretty bad.
Yeah, MIA.
That whole faction was ridiculous.
You guys remember Roadblock?
I loved Roadblock because he carried a thing down to the ring like one.
He was like the biggest, ugliest looking motherfucker ever. He looked like a truck driver or whatever.
I remember the big thing with him is that Luger got him in the torture rack. That was his claim to fame.
And I couldn't believe it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
There's a bunch though. Like Mike Awesome was stuck with like the fat woman Thriller or something like that. Where he's that was.
And
bad.
then that 70s guy, you remember that?
Yeah.
Where he was that.
I thought he was great back around that time period. But look what they did, boys. Boys, I'm going to have to get out of here. I'm getting ready to pass out. But you all have a good night. Talk about some more creepy crawlies, and we will catch you guys next time. Or I will.
I see you.
Speaking of my cat's down there. All right. Later, you guys.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was just looking up and there's actually the 50 worst WCW wrestling gimmicks ever. So I have to.
I guarantee number one is Shockmaster. I don't even have to look at it.
That's a whole show right there.
No, that's the Yeti.
Oh, really?
The Yeti's number one.
I don't think the Yeti's as bad as the Shockmaster, honestly, or the Ding Dongs. Might be. You remember the Ding Dongs? They had like hunchbacks. You couldn't pin them. That was their gimmick.
Apparently, there's a Loch Ness monster where someone was a sea monster.
Yeah, that happened.
Jesus,
that's all. All this is from Dungeon of Doom. Like that was the thing. Like the Dungeon of Doom was basically just people for Hogan to beat. So they kept like throwing out all these awful gimmicks just to try to make something work.
Gotcha.
Glacia. Everybody remembers Glacia. I used to love the fucking promos that Mortis would cut on Glacier because that Canyon had that list. Glacia. Let me tell you something.
Who better than Canyon?
That guy.
I like Canyon.
That guy was great, man. Like he's a great wrestler. Anyway, let's see. Somebody kept bringing up Society. I did want to go back to Society just because, like, that movie's batshit insane.
Oh yeah,
it might be like the ultimate kind of 80s goo creature movie or whatever you want to call that. Like, it's like Cronenberg without being Cronenberg somehow. Like, it's like something he would make but didn't. I always really loved that movie.
Yeah, it was Brian Usna.
Oh yeah.
Which we saw him at that last Whorehound, and he was just sitting there with his thumb up his ass, like nobody was around him or anything. And it was
that's
kind of sad.
Yeah, that is. I would think there would actually be people that would want to talk to him. I mean, he's done so much killer stuff.
Yep. Oh my God! I wish they would have. They almost did the Ninja Turtles as a tag team.
Well, yeah, but then they would have been sued for copyright.
Yep.
Jim Cornette fought Ninja Turtle.
What do you guys think of Arrow's November? I haven't even seen it yet. What is it? What is their November slate, Mark? Do you know?
I mean, I've seen the new releases. I don't know about the sale though, so I'm not sure.
Scream Factory's going to announce something on Monday. It won't be worth shit unless it's like it won't be worth shit.
A 4K or Blu-ray of The Invasion, the Nicole Kidman movie. That's Arrow Video.
God,
you can get that, Mark.
No,
The 4K as well, limited edition. Simple Plan Limited Edition 4K, Elvira Mistress of the Dark Limited Edition 4K.
I think the only thing anybody's really been talking about, other than Vinegar Syndrome, sells that imprint Never Ending Story. Really, it's just too fucking high, man. That's the issue.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, it's nice, but it's I don't know.
I'll hold on. I can bring it up here because like
Yeah.
it is wonderful, but like
I haven't seen it.
the look of it's amazing, but it's just 250. It's even more though, wouldn't it? Because it's like 250 Australian, whatever that is, or maybe that's cheaper. I can never
Australian,
figure that out.
Australian is cheaper. Someone mentioned
Okay.
Australian was cheaper.
Never Ending Story imprint. Let's see if I can just find a fucking. Here we go. Picture of the damn thing. 249 Australian dollars.
Nah, Premiere, I'm not doing the 4K Terminator. If anyone wants to do it, be my guest. I fuck James Cameron.
Fuck him right in his butt.
But Mark, you did
Yeah, I mean, I'll be the guinea
Sure.
pig. I'll get it.
Look at what
Huh.
you see. Hold on, let me make this bigger. In his face.
Like you said,
Something else.
that is a lot of money.
So
Yeah.
it's pretty killer though. It comes with like the book over
Mhm.
there and all of this shit and the lobby cards and then all the yada yada yadas. But it's 249, which even if that is, let's see what that translates to into US dollars.
So it's a 4 disc. Is it 2 4Ks and 2 Blu-rays?
Let me check.
Yeah, 2 4K discs, 3 Blu-ray discs.
Yes, fourth limited edition 4K and Blu-ray exclusive replica storybook packaging. It's got a reproduction of the original 1984 press kit, a full color matte laminated 27 by 40 folded print of the original poster. That's interesting. Reprints of the original 8 lobby cards in 11 by 14, which is the actual size of a lobby card. A 3D lenticular hard case housing all 5 discs. It has the original US theatrical cut and its timeless soundtrack fully restored and making its debut on 4K with Dolby Vision. Damn, bulls. And a new audio commentary and like new, it looks like new featurettes too.
Still not enough to make me get it though.
What about the German extended cut? That should be it for you, Mark. That's 168 US dollars. By the way.
Does that include shipping?
No, and that's the problem. But I don't know how much you have to spend to get free shipping. Somebody probably knows that on that
That
side.
should be. I mean, that should be free shipping. It may not be, but it should be, is what I'm saying.
I would
If it's-
think maybe over 150 it would be free shipping.
You would think.
So
So, what do you think when a company does this compared to like what Vendor Syndrome does? Do you think at least it seems like you did some money for your buck, or do you think it's still
that's
extending the?
pretty fucking high, man.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even for what it is, that's to me is high. That's $170, and that's not even including like whatever if you have to pay shipping.
yeah, for one movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Look at that. It's fucking pretty perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean
so
that's a slipcover, right?
I would assume, yeah, it's like hardbound into that somehow.
Yeah.
It's probably one of those clasp covers like they did with Vinegar Syndrome stuff.
Okay.
It probably opens up with like a metal magnet kind of
Gotcha.
thing. I'm guessing, or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Yes, the leather skins from a dingo.
So, what do you think should have been how much they charged?
For that, to me would be like 80 bucks.
That's what I was gonna say. $75 to $80.
Yeah. I don't know where in the fuck I get off with 170 basically. But if somebody's gonna buy it, probably sell out. To be honest,
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
Maybe Wes will buy it.
he might. He might. Honestly, he's one of the people that he just secretly buys shit and then acts like he didn't buy it.
I mean, he
You
said it's
never-
like one
you
of his
never know.
favorites, right?
Yeah.
Like one of his.
It is. I mean,
As
far as
hey,
I know, it is, and it's like a great edition of it. So what do you want?
yeah, go for it. I mean, as long as you don't find out. Hey, but you live only once. Yeah, primarily like I pre-ordered the Blair Witch one because I love that one from Second Sight.
Oh man, I still need to pre-order that. I keep forgetting about it, but that I've got to do that. Yeah. How much was that, Matt? That wasn't that much, was it? It was like $50 or 60?
Yeah, I did it from Diabolic, which they worked out perfectly fine. Let me see. I got my receipt. It should be over here. It was with shipping $57.99.
Yeah, I mean that's reasonable, man, considering what that is. How
Yeah,
big of a set that is too.
Yeah, limited. It's got a big thick book with it, all the other stuff. Yeah, and with shipping, because without it was like $51.99.
Why? Let's see. Hold on. While we're on here, let's just take a look at some of the newer stuff that's come out. I know.
Sure.
Before we get off here.
I did get this in. Speaking of pre-orders and stuff from Australia.
Australia. Sorry.
Got audio commentary on here, behind the scenes footage, deleted scenes. I hope it shows up because it's got one of those lenticular covers substitute.
Oh, that's badass.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's the set. It's got all of them in there.
Get that, Rambo. You want that.
No, I heard. I don't know if this is true.
Hmm.
I heard the first film was edited.
Really? How? In what way? Like it's a cut version, or
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's why I heard. I don't know if it's true, but just sometimes overseas, like they cut stuff more than in the U.S. It might be that. I can't confirm though. But someone told me that's what it was, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He can't confirm or
This-
deny that.
This just
I haven't
dropped.
seen it.
Is it this edition? Like from the
Yeah, it
collector
was-
set?
Yeah, it was the overseas one. Yeah,
Okay.
that just came out.
Okay, I'm gonna check now.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I mean, the guy could have been wrong, but that's why I was warned.
All right, I'm gonna check. Let's see.
Jesse Diaz, no. And I swear to God, if you do that, I just want to interview you. Just come on the show if you decide to do that.
So-
I just want to talk to you.
Is it really
Anybody.
you pay that much and they pay 100 after that?
Nobody knows because like what they've recently said is like you pay $500, right? And you get access to that first poster and they give you a coupon code, but they don't tell you, does that coupon code like give you the poster? Because if it did, why would there be a price on it? Like, why would there be $100 price? Or does that coupon code just give you some sort of discount
From the
On-
100.
Yeah, from the 100, which is my guess. Like, those posters look like shit, man.
It does.
Like they,
And they don't even, it's not even about a movie. They're selling the website. Vinegar Syndrome.
right?
So it's,
It just doesn't. None of that makes any sense to me. What if Uncle Bill got 2 rock toast? It's French toast that's 4 inches thick with peanut butter jelly, honey, whipped cream, and syrup. That sounds pretty fucking good, really.
that actually does
Peanut
sound
butter
good.
jelly, honey, whipped cream, and some syrup.
I haven't had
did?
French-
What if I did, Bobby? That would be amazing.
I haven't had French toast in a while. That'd be great.
Grande, are you off there? How'd the rest of that go? Because that was pretty cool. Yeah, it was great to stream with you too.
Hey there, Grande. So, Mark, you know you got ripped off? He's checked.
I'm doing
Yeah.
some serious investigation work over
Yeah.
here.
If that is the case, that's pretty crappy business. Yeah, I saw that the first time Blair Witch Project on VHS. I didn't even know any of the hype. I saw that when it came on VHS because we didn't have internet, so I didn't see all the buzz. I just saw Roger Ebert's review. I'm like, let me check it out, and it was so new to me. I just really got into it. I liked the mythology of it. I saw the Curse of the Blair Witch on Sci-Fi Channel, and yeah, it's simple, but it was effective. More so because I've seen a lot of found footage films, and they're not all that effective.
Yeah, you're right.
That's just me, though.
No. Man, that was
It's a great name. It's just a terrible movie.
Oh yeah, that fucking shit with asking what your cereals were. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was the fact that he kept doing it to the point. Then he put in all caps. Just name one. I'm like, I haven't had cereal for 20 years. And he wanted
who's
the
that
top
invested
five.
in what cereal you're eating? Is what I want to know.
He wanted like a top five. I'm like, I don't
Say-
know. I haven't had one for 20 years.
Say Lucky Charms, bitch! Now, like, say something.
I guess I should have.
It was a fun conversation. Very nice people. Other than you, nothing else. Yeah, I thought so too.
Well, I guess Alfa Romero, I would think, since he's been George Romero, he'll be looking into the documentary on the Resident Evil movie he's going
yeah.
to make.
Yeah,
Whether you're into the property or not, that's still an interesting conversation. The
Dude.
what if.
he was attached to so many different properties. Pet Cemetery was one of them. Romero, I mean, he was supposed to do Pet Cemetery. He was supposed to do Resident Evil. He was supposed to do what was the other big one? It's around the 80s.
Was he going to do The Stand?
Yes, The Stand. Yeah, he was going to do the miniseries The Stand. I don't know if it was going to be a movie or a miniseries when he was around with it, but like, yeah. And then Twilight of the Dead, all that shit, like where it fell through.
The Mummy. I think he was going to do
The Mummy, yeah.
Is there one of those you wish you could have seen if you had a top?
You know, I was thinking about that. If I'd had more time on that show, I was going to bring that up too. Like, which one of those do I think he would have done best as a director on? And honestly, for some reason, I thought it was The Stand. Like, I thought that would be a movie that would be more up his, because it's basically an upscale version of The Crazies, really. Like, they had the exact same plot, essentially, without the the spiritual aspect of that's not in The Crazies, but still. Yeah, he probably would have done really good on Pet Cemetery too, because that takes place in basically like one spot. I really want to see that Vince McMahon fucking documentary that's coming up on Netflix. That's going to be a trip. Danny says he dropped $150 on 4 movies on the video. I bought Rad, and I bought because I don't have Rad, and I bought the Forgotten Giallo Volume 5. I'm trying to get all those like slowly through some of these sales.
Well, they did have a lot for $8. There were just nothing you really wanted.
No, most of those I either already had or like I just didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that tomorrow I'm going to be covering that sale too tomorrow, so I'm hoping there's something on that.
You guys mentioned before. I'm surprised they didn't bring down Sidekicks since that hasn't sold.
They did though. It was 50% off on that sale, but it was still like $32.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I almost bought that too, but I was like, I'm just keep waiting for that to go down because they got so many of them, man. I feel like at some point that's going to be $20-$25.
Premiere, we actually did a stream where all three of us talked about Romulus. If you want to give that a watch, it's on my channel. We talked about in depth all of our thoughts. We weren't fans.
But Mark, we were talking on when I did the show with Alpha about Bruiser, about essentially Bruiser is the movie that Romero made because of all the shit that happened to him with all those studio movies. So if you watch Bruiser through the lens of this is like a director who is personally making this film, but based on his own experiences of just like everybody letting him down in his life and like all these projects falling through and all this stuff, it kind of takes on a whole new meaning. Which I love the first half of Bruiser, and I think the second half it kind of like peters off, for lack of a better word.
So, Mark, did you was that Via Vision the one you have?
Yeah, it is.
Because like this guy says, it's the first film it's censored. Entire deaths are cut out. Scenes are shortened, and the bad guy's death at the end of the film has him standing up
What
1
the
second
fuck?
and magically dead on the floor for no reason. Any level of quality control should have been pit this up. Well, there you go. There's quality control. If that's the case.
Hey, Mark, save that for my next video.
Is that this like version of the Blu-ray though? I don't know if this is enough. This one says that it's the full runtime on the back. I don't see anything online that says it's cut. I'll watch it and see. Is
that the one that's like the all 4 films and limited edition with the cards and?
I believe so.
Because that's the same picture he's showing here.
Like
the cover you had.
Yeah, but well, I guess if it's the Via Vision one, I guess that's the one he's talking about because that's what I have. So I don't know. Again, this just came out, so does he have it or something?
Yeah, he
does.
He has his picture on it.
Okay.
It's that. This is from 3 days ago. It's on Reddit, and I know but I mean, Reddit's a little bit more honest.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few other people that said it. So
that's weird because again, it has the full running time. I checked on.
Well, I'm sure they have the running time because they thought it was. They haven't seen fucking. They probably don't know what the substitute is. It's just they bought the title.
I'll watch it and see. I'll let you know.
It's like when I got that Oliver Gruner film Nemesis, and they didn't tell people it was a different cut of the film.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wait a minute, this is a different cut. And I talked to the person because I was mad. And I said, well, I didn't know. You released the thing. It was MVD. It was MVD, and
I could believe that. Yeah,
we had a bit of a argument on the Blu-ray.com forum, but then we both settled, and then I got a free Blu-ray out of it. So I picked Double Dragon because I couldn't find anything else, even though I don't like the movie. I'm like, I didn't do it for that, but
yeah, sorry to cut you off. I see the article. Well, it's not an article, but the post on Reddit, and I see what you're saying. Like he says, 2 through 4 are uncensored, but the first one is not, from what he's saying.
So it might have been like a foreign copy that sometimes those foreign films are more edited. So they might have just put that on there and not.
Or they just. Well, see, that's the thing. Like I know. A lot of people say that about like a lot of foreign movies, and I have obviously a ton of German stuff. I got a bunch of French stuff. Most of the time, they're not censored. At least, or maybe I luck up. I don't know. But with this one, I mean, I haven't seen it. He has, so maybe he's right. Yeah, I'll look into it. He said something about like, they probably didn't mean to put that version on.
Right. Well,
yeah,
I mean,
it's like their source of it, like they put the wrong one. It was supposed to be uncensored, but they didn't put the uncensored one. So, oh well.
Well, just like his rant, it's all quality control is nowhere to be found.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's telling everybody on here to write into the site so that they can fix it, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Right.
It's already out now. They're not doing replacement discs.
So I am going to highlight a company on here just to kind of use as a template for us to look at some pre-orders, which is my favorite place to order from, Orbit. So this is just like some of the new release stuff that's coming out. Like, and I'm just using the Orbit site because they're a great company to order from.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of if you want to get stuff fast, especially.
That's how I got this.
Yeah, I don't know much about Tomei, however you want to say that, but that's the one that got released, I think today or yesterday from Arrow. A simple plan, marking out for lack of a better word there.
Oh
over
yeah,
that one.
can't wait to get that.
That's the 4K limited edition. Mistress of the Dark, 4K. The Invasion, the one with, like you were saying, Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman, yeah.
4K. And then you got Pulse 4K, which that's a region free one. That must be, what is that? Umbrella? That's Umbrella, yeah.
I might get Boiling Point.
Boiling Point, yeah, the Wesley Snipes. That's region free too. That's $30 fucking free. Is that a Blu-ray?
It's a Blu-ray, yeah.
Bulls, come on. Wesley Snipes or all right, then Bird Eater. That's CK's favorite. Fucking Bird Eater. So fucking those are some pre-orders.
Oh, God.
And then here's some imports that are coming in too. So Orca, the Killer Whale Region B is sold out on there, but like I'd say that'd be a pretty popular one. That looks like Studio Canal, but I can't tell. No, it's it is Studio Canal. Okay. They usually release pretty quality stuff. The Commitments, I love that movie. Odd movie to be on there, but yeah, sold out too. Vampires. That's a media book, Mark. There you go.
It's not the covers. It's not enough nudity, so sorry.
Let's Get Harry, which is an underrated movie, but it's been out like a bunch of times now. All right. Their used movie section's killer, but I'll just go back up to all the pre-orders that are going out right now. No cancellations on none of this shit, boy, so don't even try. Eyes Without a Face. Yeah, that's what we talked about last time. Black Tuesday.
There's the other Orca.
Yeah, that's
somebody wants it.
That's the Steelbook.
Oh God, trap.
Right here you go, though. You got to buy this if you haven't already. The Nightmare on Elm Street 4K.
Oh, man.
Buy that now.
No, not getting that one.
Okay, here's my question. I 100% want to buy this, but like these editions look like shit to me.
There's a 4K Steelbook, I think, of that.
Yeah.
It might be on Orbit, but you might have to search it.
I mean, I got to find something that looks better than that for some reason. That just looks ridiculously shitty.
That'll probably be a Walmart.
Yeah, I mean,
that long legs.
I don't know if the 4K will be, though. Blu-ray will be. Does Walmart even release 4Ks? I guess they do, yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah, at least here.
Late Night with the Devil Standard Edition. The Cooking with Price. Vincent Price cooking. Shit.
That's awesome.
I didn't know that was a thing.
How did I not even ever see this, Mark? Did you see this? The Pet Cemetery, huge, like, collector's edition. Who is that from?
That's gone now, though. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's sold out. But who did it? Like, I didn't even see it.
I don't remember who did that.
Paramount Scares. That's Paramount, just overseas.
Yeah. It's like this. Hold on. This. I was actually doing a video on this. This edition of Crawl.
Oh yeah.
This Paramount did this one as well. So but again, overseas, like they do stuff like that overseas, but they don't do it region 1. Like you would think that it would come
Uncle
out.
Bill is frozen.
What the
Oh, is
fuck?
oh yeah, he is.
His
I didn't
image
even
won't move.
notice.
Would you hear his voice?
God. Hold
Would you
on.
hear your voice? You just not moving.
Hold on. Let me try this.
This. He'll be back. His
He'll be
computer
back.
wanted lawn legs more.
Danger.
Will Robinson danger.
I think I'm still frozen. I think it's still.
It's black now.
All right. Well, now would be
Yeah.
a good time to probably end the stream, I guess. So, okay, real quick while I'm frozen on here, though. Tomorrow is at noon. I'm covering the Vinegar Syndrome drop. And then Sunday is the last of the Summer Slashback series where we are doing Tear It 10 Killer and Last Slumber Party, which are both awful fucking slash films. So, Mark, I know you're working on a video. Go for it. I'm going to take myself out of here and see if I can fix this shit.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be finishing up that crawl video. It's 5-year anniversary for the movie. It is technically kind of a creature feature, but more of an animal attack movie in a way. I wouldn't say it's creatures, but still very fun. You're a fan of Crawl, right, Rambo?
Yeah, I enjoyed the film. Alexander Aja made that,
Mhm.
and I thought it was pretty good for what it's trying to be. Good animal attack creature feature, kind of like what we were talking about in the show. But yeah, I thought it was one of the better ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the better produced Sam Raimi movies. I know he's producing all those Evil Dead movies, but yeah, I'm not really into those. But yeah, I'll be having that one done pretty soon, and not sure what I'm going to do after that. They just did a review of Neon Demon, so maybe I'll do that and then point people in the direction of their review once I put up, because it's I have the media book and the steel book for it, so I'll probably show that. That's it for right now that I can think of.
Cool.
Rambo, what are they torturing you with here lately?
Well, to answer Jackson chat, no, I will not be streaming late tonight, although maybe I should have another rant and go off at you. But long story short, continue with the requests. Probably the next big one is The Crow that just came out. So I recorded the review, just have to upload it and put it together. Yeah, that's probably the big one. Other random ones, the David Fincher film The Killer, the Estate Room movies. There were 2 of them. Yeah, more to come. So it should be fun. And yeah, thanks for having me on there. It's been a lot of fun, like always.
Yeah, man, these shows are always probably my favorite shows that I do, really. And so also thanks to everybody that have been here tonight. We've had around 160 to 170 people on here all night, which has been awesome. And check out like all the stuff we've all got coming up. I mean, it's going to be a pretty packed weekend, I think. So check us out. Go over and buy some shit. Buy Rambo's shirt. We need to develop a Stud Muffin Mark shirt. That's the next.
That would be the one I get.
Yeah, that's the next shirt I'm going to try to like get him to make. Oh God.
Oh yeah, like yeah. I didn't even know this shirt was on there. Like he sent this as a gift. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot to take it off the site. I'm like, I didn't even know. But yeah, I guess this shirt is on the shop.deadpit.com site.
Yep.
On there. So
and
yeah, right there. I didn't even know until you guys told me. So that's cool.
Yeah, I didn't know it was on there. You mentioned it the other night, and I looked it up.
Mark, it has to be someone with a German from Mark.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. It's gonna be amazing.
It's CK is gonna fuck with me. I'm gonna get like the little mustache right
the
there.
Dot. It's gonna be the dot.
Yeah, that's what's going.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
I
like
know it.
Every journal release, you're holding
Oh,
like a
Jesus.
teeter-totter
Yeah.
or like this in a yoga pose. But yeah, the
If it's
dot
up
is
to
like-
him, you're definitely gonna get fucked with, like the t-shirt
I know
design.
it is.
But I wanted to really use this rant for these trolls, but we're gonna have to wait for another day. We got the Rambo rant ready for any time
Oh yeah,
trolls come in. But
very
I
cool.
appreciate everybody in the chat. Thanks again for joining us. We went through everything. We went through creature features, wrestling, new movies, pre-orders. So until next time, signing off for Dead Pit. I'm Uncle Bill, and see you guys later.
Later.
I'd like to tell people thumbs up the video, Uncle Bill.
Would you?
Yes. Thumbs it up with violence and fury and just love everything about it, right, Uncle Bill?
Yeah. You hit the heart button, then you hit the ass button, then you hit the go fuck yourself button. Follow that up with the I don't give a shit button.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit Radio shirts. You can get Last South on the left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Special thanks goes out to our supporters on Patreon. Do you know what kind of stuff you can get on Patreon, Uncle Bill, starting at only $1 a month?
What's that?
Access to every Dead Pit show since 2005. We got almost 200 fan commentaries that we've done over the decades.
We have a literal jukebox full of songs and thousands of reviews. I don't even know how many shows are up on there now that we've done over the years.
Hundreds of thousands.
You need to figure this out now and subscribe to us on Patreon and YouTube and Instagram and help us to 1 million. The road to 1 million subscribers starts today.
So deadpitonpatreon.com. Join today. Tiers start at only $1, but I'd recommend at least the $10 tier.